Hello, Philadelphia! I'm Bruce Buffer. It's time for the Anthony Gargano Show!
Good morning, Fighting Phils! Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Thursday across the Delaware Valley. This is the Anthony Gargano Show. We're brought to you by TrueMark Financial Credit Union, TrueMark.com/PHLY, and we're brought to you by the Bet Park Sportsbook online casino app. All right, so check it all out. All right, so man, what a night last night. The Phillies are putting together a little bit of a stretch. Their bats are alive. They've scored 6 or more runs in, I think it's 9 of 13 games. Like the bats are starting to come alive. You know, Turner is so key. And before the season started, I talked about Turner being the linchpin, right? Turner being the key to this whole thing. And lo and behold, I mean, you see it. Like, he gets him started, you know, with the home run, makes it 2-0. Like, when he's on base, things happen. He hits, things happen. He's so vital to that lineup, being a right-handed bat. And again, he's got everything. He's got power, speed. You know, he's a 5-tool guy. So having him, you know, in the top of the order, contributing and producing, I should say, is a big deal to the lineup. And then how about Sanchez? You know what's amazing? Well, you got Wheeler and you got Nola. But Sanchez and Luzardo, it's just such a treasure having those 4 guys. It makes all the difference in the world, because all the warts that they appear to have, and look, they do. Like, the outfield is a real wart. The bullpen is a real wart. That's true. But they can make up for it. And no team's perfect. Even the Dodgers, as you see, right? No team is perfect. But that said, the Phillies, because they have dramatic bats and because they have such great starting pitching, it really compensates for a lot of the warts. It's the makeup that sends those warts away. And they look good, right? Last couple of games. Last night was great. And Taiwan actually giving you 3 scoreless was terrific. All right. Also, last night, I have to tell you, I have not been in on the NBA playoffs like as much. I started getting into it more this round, and the other night was crazy, right? Game 1 was nuts, and then last night with Indiana Cleveland, or 2 nights ago, and then last night again, watching the Knicks come back on Boston, it just doesn't get old. I can't believe, but I am. I'm rooting like all get out for the Knicks, the Nova Knicks. I never thought I would be like that much of rooting for that team. Again, it's New York, it's the Knicks, right? But watching Boston choke is just the greatest. It's the greatest. I freaking love it. So I'm thoroughly enjoying. And here's the truth of the matter: I admire the Knicks. I admire that team. They play hard. They play tough. Tibbs works his guys. They're all grit guys, right? You watch Josh Hart play. Like, he plays ball. He rebounds. He plays defense. He does little things. You watch Brunson. He just doesn't score, right? He attacks. They attack. They play the right way. They're tough. They're everything that we want, honestly. The truth of the matter, I'm jealous that they were able to build a team of great toughness using our kids, right? They used our kids, Nova kids, to build their squad. While the idiots, all right, here can't get it right. Can't get it right. You know, forever, it was 1 or 2 teams dominate the NBA Finals. I mean, you know it. You had Celtics and the Lakers of the 80s. You had the Lakers again in the 90s, right? And you had the Bulls in the late 80s and 90s. Then the Lakers come back, right, with Kobe and Shaq after that. Then you got the LeBron and the Warriors, right? You see all these things. Over the last 6-7 years, you haven't seen one team dominate. In fact, I think there's been a different champion every year for the last 7 years, which takes you back to the process days. So imagine that we're beginning the pre-process, and I tell you, oh, by the way, there's going to be 7 different teams that are going to win it. And this team doesn't even get to the finals. Forget winning it. They don't even get to the finals. So I'm watching the Knicks team. I'm going, you know what? I respect you. I respect you play the game right. You play the game tough. That's what you do. Unlike here. And then finally, we're very excited. Now, I'll ask the bro, because he is the king of content here at PHLY. All right? You know that there was the movie King of Comedy? You're the king of content.
Was that Bernie Mac and who was the king of comedy?
It was De Niro was in it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I'm thinking of what was the Bernie Mac and Cedric the Entertainer? They were the
kings of comedy.
Kings of comedy.
Yeah. You were the king of content. You're the king of content. So since it's been out on social media, I can talk about it, no?
It's up to you. You call the shots around here.
All right. Well, I mean, listen.
Yeah, I mean,
while I do, I want to make sure that we have the protocol, right?
Yeah, I mean, Scotty was all about it. Our new best friend, Scotty, was...
Matt Fleet's first. I got to tell you. So we were excited. So last night, Cooper DeJean and Reed Blankenship take their first Mighty Mike's podcast.
Exciting Mike's.
What am I saying?
Yeah.
The Exciting Mike's podcast, which I got to tell you is going to be awesome. And we're going to run it right here on the PHLY All-City Network. It's fabulous. The guys are awesome. It was great hanging out with them. You're going to love it. You're going to love their show. They're fun. They're just great, lovable dudes.
They were cool dudes. Cool dudes, yeah. It was really, it was cool to see them kind of take ownership of it and
they're into it.
Yeah,
man.
they're into it. Invest into it.
Yeah, they were fired up over it.
Yeah. It was cool.
I was proud of them.
It was cool.
They killed it.
Yeah.
It's going to be a fun show. We'll get you more details next week when we debut it. But we shot it here last night, and it was a blast. It was so much fun. They're great guys.
And just gonna get better by the week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They're talented dudes. They'll be better than me in no time.
Good personality. I gotta tell you, Cooper was doing one of the reads.
Yeah, better than I expected.
I know.
Because we've worked with a lot of athletes over the years, and sometimes seeing them record commercials is quite a learning curve.
Well, yeah, because listen, it's an acquired skill.
Sure.
Right? It's hard to do that.
Yeah.
And make it sound right. They were good.
They were.
And Coop was, there's a flag on the play. What was the
flag on the pay?
Flag on the pay.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were doing it. The spot basically is about bad purchases.
Yeah. I make plenty of those.
On the pay.
Yeah.
It was great. It was, and he actually did it. He did it great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun.
A lot of exciting stuff coming from them.
Yeah.
It's gonna be good.
The Exciting Mikes. Gotta look forward to it, man. All right. Fights, dude.
The Taiwan-assance. You know why baseball is awesome?
Well, dude, that's all. Did you make that up?
I started saying it last year, and then it came back to me in a flash. I started joking in the towards the end of the year.
Dude, that's actually awesome.
Yeah, the Taiwan-assance.
I love that. I actually love. I'm a words guy.
Yeah.
Taiwan-assance.
I've been hitting that in the Discord.
It's the Taiwan-assance.
Yeah.
Welcome,
dude. So baseball's weird, as you know. You covered it for so long. He gets his save last night, and I had known about the rule, but I had completely forgotten about the rule that if you end a game for 3+ innings, regardless of the score, you get the save.
Right.
Such an oddity of the game.
Yeah. Well, you go 3 innings. I mean, a lot of stuff can happen.
Yeah, and Taiwan was awesome, and he gets the ball, and I gotta give him his credit. He seems like a stand-up good teammate. Like
I agree.
He took his lumps last year. Yeah. He stood up there in front of the media and kind of said, like, I don't know. I don't have my stuff. You know, he went to the bullpen.
I agree.
He's been a pro. And you got to give the guy credit for that. Yeah. I know he's getting paid $17 million. And it's
somebody, everybody gets paid.
Yeah. I don't care. It's not my money.
Right.
So I got to give him credit. The teammates seem to love him. Like, everybody was super pumped for him last night when he was doing the handshake line to end the game. Like, Zach Wheeler was out there. Like, you can tell he's liked.
They like him.
Yeah, they like him. So that was good to see.
You know what's funny? We forget. He used to be really good.
Yeah, his splitter was one of the best pitchers in baseball when they signed him.
He was an elite starting pitcher. He was a one.
So it makes me think, you know, like Stott was more hurt last year than we probably knew about. Maybe Harper is now, who knows? But like maybe Taiwan was just a little more hurt than we knew last year. And he's going to serve a role on this team, you know, a substantial middle relief. And then, you know, a starter when an injury happens, which is probably inevitable. But yeah, like I'm pretty happy about him.
No, dude, I'm with you.
Like a bright spot of the season, which is crazy to say, but here we are.
Well, you know, the couple of things that we brought up to start the show, which is, listen, the warts are real. Like, sure, you're not gonna lie to you.
But the bullpen now is not going to be the bullpen come July. They're going to upgrade it somewhere. Painter's going to arrive. You'll probably make a trade. Maybe you promote an Abel or a McGarry or somebody like that down the line.
Maybe Rangers full-time pen.
You figure it out. So that'll change.
But that's legit. Like
it needs to change.
Right. And your lineup is your lineup, right? Like your outfield's your outfield. Like I'm not a Rojas fan.
No, me either.
I know everybody who's going gaga over the bunt.
I'll tell you what, I like the German a little bit though. The German, I like him. He's good.
He is good. Yeah.
The play at the other night, Bohm should have let through. Because you could have ended the game on a double play.
Listen,
he's solid.
Kepler is like when he was in Minnesota, not last year.
Injuries has always been his problem.
Right. Like he's got pop, and you know he went through that little stretch here where he hit 3 or 4 home runs in like a week. Like, he could do that for you.
You just got to stay healthy.
You know, I still want...
Center field's a mess.
It's a complete mess. And I still miss that right-handed bat. Like, in a perfect world, Trey Turner's your center fielder.
Yes, and I think in probably 2 years, he could be, or maybe the left fielder.
Maybe next year.
Yeah, maybe next year. We'll see what happens.
I mean, in a perfect world where you don't have, you got a lot of, you don't have a lot of optionality there.
Yeah. And Justin Crawford's 23. Like, at what point do you see what he's got? His on base is really high right now. It's like 393 or something. Yeah. So he's doing a nice job. Yeah. At some point you got to find out, right? Like we talked about the Yankees yesterday calling up a 21-year-old. Like Crawford's 23. He's going to be 24, and like it's about that time to like kind of see what he can give you.
Yeah, I agree. I think you're right on.
So at some point.
Yeah, and again, I think there's a couple of things at play here that really, when you look at these teams, because we watch the Phillies every day, we don't get a chance to see everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
These teams have warts.
Oh yeah,
like we compare the Phillies
to the standard
a perfect team.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, we hold them up to a World Series standard.
To a perfect, but like perfect, like no weaknesses. Well. Look around baseball, and there's even the Dodgers, who have the best team in baseball.
Oh, they can't keep starting pitchers healthy.
Right.
Like they have an organizational problem of burning pitchers out.
Yep.
Like a real problem.
Yeah.
And it humanizes them to the point where I'm like,
they're beatable.
Yeah. Look, if you upgrade the bullpen, if Bryce Harper gets going, maybe you add.
Last night, ropes the double.
Yeah. And Trey's a really good player. Like we probably are hypercritical of him.
Yeah.
So yeah, like they're gonna be there. The Mets are good. They're legit. Soto's caught fire. So like, what can you do? But they're 3 games out of first place now?
Yeah.
And the Mets are on a tear.
Yeah.
Phillies are quietly on a tear, and they have a really easy month ahead. So,
well, we talked about it. You got to make hay this month.
Yeah, absolutely. You can stack some W's.
It does. Like middle of June,
gets a little tough again.
It gets tough.
But what's that? 4 series in a row now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Chance for the sweep today?
Yeah.
Should have been a day game, right? Getaway day.
Today, Luzardo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody messed with the Jesus, man.
I love Luzardo.
Yeah, he's good.
He's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
He's one of my, I love him.
And that was such a, I don't know. It was a weird offseason for the Phillies,
Great
right?
signing.
Because you get your heart ripped out of your chest by the Mets, and like everybody just went into this funk. But Luzardo was a really good move.
Legit.
Like as a 5, that is a
5.
extreme luxury to
Like
have.
honestly, he's really your 2.
Oh, he's a 3 on most teams. You know, like
He may be your 2.
Sanchez is probably better.
I don't know, dude. I think Luzardo's better than Sanchez.
Sanchez
love
may be more
Sanchez.
consistent.
Luzardo's stuff is sick. I think Luzardo is like, it's funny. It'll be interesting to see how Topper does it in the playoffs.
They're
And
going to have an embarrassment of riches here.
right, like first series where you only start 3 guys.
Yeah.
Who's behind Wheeler? Like all 3 of those guys, you're going to probably make a case.
I mean, my gut says Sanchez, but Luzardo's going to make you think about it.
Dude, I tell you, I think Luzardo's got better
But
stuff.
Thompson,
And he also got. And here's the thing about Nola.
I was just going to say, he's got Thompson equity. Like,
Right,
is Thompson
like
going to be able to?
I can. And he's pitched well.
He did it last year. He started Nola game 3 on the road. So it is possible, but we'll see what happens.
And then you never know what happens with Painter.
And
Right?
Painter could come
Like,
up and be Skeens.
right. Like Painter could be like out of his mind. And they go, well, we got to throw the kids.
Kid's throwing gas.
Yeah,
Nobody can touch him.
Right.
He's dating Livy Dunn. She
Yeah.
left Paul Skeens, and she's dating Andrew Painter now.
You know, like who knows? Like that's all a possibility.
Yeah. It's kind of exciting.
I am. I was like, listen, I finally feel like the town is awakened to the Phillies.
It was a home game last night. Did you see
Yeah,
this?
yeah. They were doing Eagle chants.
Yeah.
E-N-G-L-E-N.
The Birds.
When they were doing it in Tampa.
Yeah.
That place is weird looking. It's
Yeah.
actually a nice looking stadium.
I thought of you
I used
last
to-
night.
Yeah.
Castellanos having the catch with the kid in right field.
I love it. Loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it. Love it.
The 2 brothers that look like having a catch back and forth.
I loved it.
Awesome.
I thought that was beautiful.
Awesome.
That was
he gets it.
Nick does. And listen, Joey, you know, our man Joey, what's Joey's title? I got to come up with a title for Joey. Because he's the assistant producer.
He's the NAR expert, big skateboarder.
No, he is it.
He's the executive of NAR.
Yeah, he is. He's our boarder, without a doubt. But anyway, Joey and Nick are buddies.
Yeah.
He lives like next to my parents.
Yeah, you guys are tight.
Yeah, he gets it. He seems normal.
Yeah, he's a good dude. Yeah, no. In fact, text
Normally.
him. Get on that idea that we have. All right, come on, man. Don't be shy. We got to debut boarding with Joey.
Nice.
Another one of my ideas.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
where Joey goes skateboarding with different people.
That'd be
His
awesome.
first one's gonna be Nick.
All right.
He's gonna board with Nick. So boarding with Joey.
Yeah.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Get a little graphic going.
Yeah.
Boarding with Joey. We'll film it. All right. You're down. You down for that? All right, good. All right. Last thing to cover is my Knicks love.
Dude, I was texting with Devon last night, sending him all the McHale stuff. 2 games in a row, he just ends it. And to your point about like the Nova Knicks, like it's killing me. All the bing bong. You see, they're not leaving the stadium. They take over.
It sucks.
Times Square last night.
Yes.
It looks so fun.
It's a blast.
If we're here in the trust tree sharing our true feelings, it looks awesome.
It looks awesome. It is.
And
And here's the truth of the matter. You're watching, like, Brett Brown's one of the nicest people in the world.
Yeah.
All right. But he was in charge during that period
what a
of time.
disaster.
If one of the worst words in my head that resonates is in the way it's pronounced is the word
Zaire. Are
you freaking kidding me? Are you kidding me?
And then
They pass up. They had Bridges.
you made the pick.
You have them, and then you trade them for Kawhi Leonard. Zaire. Are you freaking out of your mind?
Star hunting.
And like you go.
He was a tweener. He played center in high school. He became a shooting guard. He was going to be like a 1-2 combo guard
It's
in the
like
NBA.
my man Tony the Ref says, I hate my front office. And here's the thing, right? Like, and this is what, like, if I had the eel, the eel was sitting in your seat right now, I just want to say to the eel, like, dude, forget about anything. But do you understand what we've been through? Like, because they get defensive, right?
No, I don't think they truly
Like,
understand what we've been
we're
through.
watching Mikal Bridges, local kid, all right?
Mom works for the team.
Right. That we got to watch this kid
Close games.
slay the Celtics, our most hated rival.
I know.
Our most hated rival. Slay the Celtics. We have to watch that.
What do you have? 14 points in the fourth quarter last night?
I mean, you kidding me?
And 2 blocks to
Like,
close
we got to watch that.
in Boston.
And then you want us to go, play the song?
Yeah. I mean, it's a decade.
Yo, enough.
It's a decade.
It's enough already.
Yeah.
I can't take it. In fact, I don't think I've had a worse taste in my mouth for this franchise since the Barkley trade.
Wow.
I remember hating them when they traded for 3 stiffs. Like
Hornacek, Oliver, no, not
Hornacek,
Tim Perry, and hold on, I got this. Jeff Malone, right?
No.
No, that was the Hornacek
Close.
trade with Utah, right?
Right. Jeff Hornacek,
Tim Perry, and
he's a big.
Yeah. Well,
His last name is 1 syllable.
oh man, this is in my brain. I just got to extract it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was Jeff Hornacek,
It's too early.
Tim Perry, former Temple,
Yeah.
and AL is his nickname.
Andrew Lang?
Yes! Initial. Yes, Andrew Lang.
Oh my God.
When they made that trade, I hated him.
Yeah, me too.
First of all, we love Barkley.
Barkley's
right?
my favorite player
Right,
probably ever.
bomb. We loved him. Love Barkley.
And he was ripping the jerseys before he left. Remember, he said it looks like something my second grader
Yeah.
drew together.
And they trade him for 3 stiffs. Unthinkable. Unfreaking thinkable.
Yeah.
And like I was in
Did they even try with that? Like, I don't understand.
I have no idea how stupid.
Like,
he
was
could
it
be.
a one call?
No idea. I don't know the backstory. I couldn't even tell you the GM who did it. In fact,
What was that,
Google it.
92? 93?
Somewhere around there.
Yeah, let me look it up.
91, 92. Anyway, I don't think I felt as bad about them
92.
since now.
Yeah, and I go back and forth
Find out
because
who the GM was in 1992.
Daryl Morey kind of inherited a mess. And I think he's done a couple smart moves along the way. So it's not even like I hate him presiding over currently.
Agreed.
It's like you're
Agreed.
still paying for the
Right.
sins of
Agreed.
the past.
Listen, he's a one-trick pony, right? Like it was the Whole Hearted show. Like that,
Yeah.
he's a one-trick pony.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be real here, right? Anybody could have drafted Maxey.
I
said it before
we were
the
screaming
draft.
on the radio. Kentucky guards, just take them.
Right. Well, you and I knew it.
Gene Shue was the general manager in 1992.
Gene Shue. Ew.
Jim Lynam took over right after. I guess that was his swan song was wrecking the franchise, and then poor Jim had to clean up the scraps.
He was the coach, Gene. He was GM?
General manager was Gene Shue. Now this is the Google AI quick search.
Right,
Let me confirm this.
I gotta ask Jimmy why they did that trade. Like, really, what happened behind that trade?
Coach Doug Moe and Fred Carter split the 92-93 season. Executive Jim Lynam. So I think he came in right after. Let me work on this.
Yeah,
I
we
got a
gotta
deeper
talk to
dive.
Jim.
The
We gotta talk
92
to-
Sixers.
The Jimmy, man.
Dirty shoe.
Doug Moe. Doug Moe was horrible. What a horrible coach. They have had
What an unserious
Like-
team this
like-
was. No
oh, yeah.
offense to any of the guys.
no. They were embarrassing. They were just an embarrassment. Anyway, lots to get to. From the editor's desk, my main man, Pat McClune. Love him. We're going to talk to Steve Noworyta a great baseball man. All right. He used to be the director of minor leagues for the Phillies. Stevie is one of the great baseball men you'll ever want to meet. I love Steve. Became very friendly with him.
You got Massimo and Camp Steve. You working on it?
Maybe.
Hey, here's Uncle Steve and Uncle Charlie. Go hang out.
He may get a look. You know what I mean? Anyway, so we got lots to do today. Lots of fun. Are you good, Andrew?
Oh, I'm good, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
Just checking in with you.
Yeah.
You
Feeling
enjoy
great
your,
today.
PSG yesterday?
Oh, great game. Yeah. PSG.
I haven't been able to watch recently, but
Well,
the Champions League is
we were busy.
yeah. Champions League is awesome.
Yeah.
And he's going to something cool. It's coming
cool.
to Philly too. Did you hear about this? The club, the World Cup of club teams.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, yes, I have. It's
That's
awesome.
Juventus.
Yes.
They are coming to Philly.
Yeah, I want to see him.
You gotta
Yeah.
go.
You gotta-
the boys.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the link is good for soccer.
I'm definitely in.
I went last year to see Liverpool play Arsenal.
I've been for a couple games.
Fantastic
Yeah.
atmosphere. That place is great
The
for
sight
soccer.
lines are good. The tailgate's
Yeah.
good. It's cool.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, I'm in. All right. Lots to get to. Let's talk a little bit about Empire today. Empire. Here you go, bro.
Oh, I think I can do this by heart because I've been hearing the jingle for decades now. Empire Today, you know the name, you know the jingle because they've stood the test of time. Because they give you what you want. And what do you want? You don't want a big box store. You want to be listened and heard. And you don't want to be overwhelmed with product. And the people at Empire Today are only going to give you stuff they would put in their own home. And here's what I want. I hate big box stores because I feel like I got nobody to help me. Empire Today is going to come right to your front door. And with their new virtual floor designer, they can show you the products they'd put in their own home right there in your house. You can see it up against your furniture, your wall colors, your house decor. Get a good sense from it. You're not going to get overwhelmed. They're going to give you exactly what you're looking for. And installation is easy. You can schedule that next day. And here at PHLY, we've got a deal for you. You can schedule a free in-home estimate today because some things are just better at home. PHLY listeners can get $350 off by using promo code PHLY. Yes, you heard that right. $350 off because you're an intelligent human watching PHLY. Just use that code PHLY at the discount code. Restrictions apply. Visit Empire Today/PHLY for full details.
All right, let's talk about the Bet Park Sportsbook Online Casino app. What do we got today, bro? What are the Phillies today? This is it. They go for this sweep against Tampa. Luzardo. I like the strikeouts with Luzardo today.
Let's take a gander.
All right, whatever it is. My guess it'll be 6.5. So I will take Luzardo over the 6.5 K mark. I think the Phillies could have the sweep.
Phillies are minus 137 on the money line.
Who's pitching for Tampa?
Luzardo, you can do anything from 4.5 to 7.5. You're over 6.5 is plus 138.
Ooh.
Really?
Yeah.
Tampa's got strikeouts in the lineup.
Peepo, Ryan Peepo, is that how you say it?
yeah.
Peepo, I think it is.
Yeah. He's pretty good.
You know me, the pronunciation.
Yeah.
man.
Pepiot.
Yeah.
Is how you spell his name.
Yeah.
Anyway, the app has it all, and all the playoffs, which have been a blast. Like, if you're taking the Knicks at the end of games, like, plus money, or you're taking the Rant Man to get a hat trick, dude, Ranton is ridiculous.
Why did they trade him?
I don't understand it.
He's got 11 points in 3 games.
Dude, he's got 2 double hat tricks in one period. The natural hat trick twice. He's unreal. So there's always a way to pay out with all the sports and the casino. In fact, new customers get up to $1,000 casino bonus back if you're down the first 24 hours. BetParks.com has all the details: live dealer, blackjack, roulette, craps, all the hot online slots right there. You got to be 21. You got to be in PA, New Jersey, Michigan, Maryland, Ohio. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. Time now for one of my favorite segments of the week. We love him.
Is he back?
Pat McClune.
Oh, Pat. I thought we were going brain.
From the editor's desk.
Extra, extra, read all about it. This just in, ladies and gentlemen, and all the
This all
ships
VG?
at sea.
Yeah.
It's time for headlines from the editor's desk with Pat McClune.
BG's talented.
He's a wacko.
Good morning. Hello, editor.
No brain here, guys. Just, but I'm with a well-educated Jamie Lynch, so
Yeah.
all is good.
Pat, I was back at our alma mater for my 25th anniversary last weekend. It's unbelievable what that place has become.
I know it doesn't resemble anything of the place I went to. That's Here's a quick thing of economies of scale, Anthony. LaSalle University just did a revamp of their court, which I got to tell you, they really did a great job.
Yeah, Bobby C said it's awesome.
They pretty much took the court and turned it this way, and instead of having stands that go all the way up, now you have stands all the way around, and it's got an intimate feel to it. They did a great job. My point, though, is that was a $12 million renovation. LaSalle High School is going to put in a new athletic complex for $50 million.
Yeah.
What?
The school's
Yeah.
outrageous.
$50 million?
How's that for economies of scale? Yes. 4 times the size of the college. Yes.
Oh my
Did
God.
you see the new baseball field they got? The concrete volleyball pit I used to play on at lunch is now a turf field. Like it's
50. Where's a high school getting $50 million? And the college, tell me how the economics work.
Well, I mean,
I don't know.
root for the college. I really root for the college, but it's it's in a tough spot and a tough time. And the high school, they've always done well with raising money. And look, they got to keep up with Charlie Falk and the boys in football. And they're Brett Gordon, John Steinmetz, they've done a good job doing that. So.
Yeah.
Well,
But anyway,
is interesting,
jump at me
man.
when somebody told me $50 million.
It is interesting because these schools, like our schools, when it comes to football,
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of talent here, man.
There might be the Abdul Carter weight room coming down the line here,
there's a lot of talent.
Yeah.
We had Cooper DeJean and Reed Blankenship in last night to shoot their podcast. And they're repped by Athletes First, which is the largest football agency in the country. And there are the same VC group owns Athletes First. They own us, right? So it's a great joint effort, and it's really, really cool. So a couple of the agents were down, and the COO of Athletes First was here. And so, I know them. We're just BSing. So we're talking about the talent in Philadelphia. And, listen, they're agencies, man. They got they got everybody, right? Micah Parsons. I mean, you name it. They got everybody. And he's like, dude, football in Philadelphia, South Jersey. He's like, there's a reason why we have a strong foothold here at A1 because of all the talent. And I was like, that's pretty cool.
That is amazing. Yep.
And if I have this correct, Pat's a former talented hooper himself, put backcourt mates with old Franny McCaffrey.
Oh, dude, if this was another era, if this was another era, Pat
and Fran ran a good backcourt, I heard. Yeah.
He's
That's
making
right.
big cash, NIL.
Yep. Franny he'll figure it out with the Quakers. They'll be winning and winning.
That's
soon,
a great get for Penn.
Yeah, it is. So, where are we starting?
Well, I'll give you the rundown, but the first thing I wanted to mention to you is because I think this appeals to a lot of your storytelling and the mystic and everything, Anthony, is I'm fascinated by the whole idea of waiting for the white smoke. And I'm thinking about the notion of we pretty much have everything in sports, but we don't have the white smoke. Could you imagine a sporting equivalent where Philadelphia fans were just sitting around waiting for smoke, maybe to come out of the Schuylkill refinery or something? And then when you see it, there's a gathering, and then somebody appears that shows you either that Philadelphia won or who the new Philadelphia guy is. It's just
I love it.
You know, the whole drama of the thing with the Pope is
I love it.
it's so cool. Yeah.
That would be unbelievable. In fact, we should elect a Pope of Philadelphia sports.
You're in the running.
And then we can it's gotta be like Kelsey. Somebody, I don't know.
Right.
You need somebody that's
A former.
You need a big time.
Okay.
You need a big time
That's
figure.
right.
I mean, Charles.
Nah, he's too national. Too national.
All right.
You got to get, if you're going to have a Pope of Philadelphia, he's the Pope of Philadelphia sports. Now, I don't know. Kelsey may be too national.
I mean,
too.
Jaws would probably be in the running. He stayed, invested in the area.
I used to call him the Pope.
Yeah.
But I think I think you got someone a little more into all the sports.
Is this a lifetime appointment?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And until we decide to move on.
It's a tough one.
The Phillies had a GM named the Pope, Paul the Pope Owens,
Yes.
back when they were winning it in 1980.
What do you think?
But,
what do you, and then we could do the Schuylkill refinery smoke.
Yeah, right.
Start a tire fire
I
in
would
West
love
Philly.
it. I think it would be a great idea.
Yeah.
Who would be a good Pope of Philadelphia sports?
Well, you know, I think Jamie's first thought, you know, Barkley has Pope-like sensibilities. I mean, he's a man for the downtrodden. You know,
Yeah, he
I've
sees
seen
the world
Barkley in
properly.
action and things with people who, you know, you talked the other day about having dinner with 3 people or whatever, and there was a reason everybody had Barkley on the list.
Yes.
You know,
Do you think he would accept the post? Because again, he's like almost a gift to the world.
Yeah.
Beyond Philadelphia. Like, you're right. Everything you just said is spot on. He just strikes me as too big of a gift.
BG.
okay.
Now that's interesting.
BG elicits happiness.
Yes. I'll put BG as a candidate.
Jay Wright comes to mind.
Jay would be great because he does all sports too.
He loves the Phils and Eagles.
Yes. Jay Wright, BG,
I mean, Kelsey's probably
What
a
do you
little too
think?
big for it now.
Kelsey. I want to put Kelsey down there. In fact, I will text the 3 of them and see if
Offer them an
and see
appointment.
if they'll accept the post.
That's right. That's right. Martelli has Pope-like qualities too.
Yes, Phil does.
He's
Yes.
he's doing the stuff about making it. Tell him it's the ultimate making a difference. That'll get him going.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
I love that idea, Pat.
I just thought we have everything pretty much covered in every sport, but nothing covers the white smoke.
The
So I thought
smoke is
that
the
was
best.
fun.
Smoke,
Yeah.
like that pomp and circumstance of the smoke. Go get a
Yes.
picture of it. Come on, cuz. Come on,
Yeah,
Andrew.
Yeah.
The smoke.
Yeah.
Like, see that white smoke above the Vatican?
Yes, and maybe around the time stuff's breaking about free agency or something. When it breaks during the show, you could, instead of having a breaking news thing, you'd have white smoke, and then you guys could.
Genius.
We can use our chimney up here.
That's we
Yeah,
got a
Center
chimney.
City would see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that idea of using the white smoke. We come up with a little bit of a, like, you
That's
know,
right.
and then you
Sure.
see the smoke come up. Breaking news.
Yep.
Genius, Pat. You're a genius.
All right, boys. I got 5 categories. I have Phillies, Eagles, playoff seasons, Mother's Day, and coaches. There you go. And the
that's
coaches
awesome. That's a
will
great
make for
picture,
good
AJ.
back and forth among you and Jamie. I'm
Big time
telling
smoke.
you. Yeah. That's a
I'll
solid
say
white smoke.
coaches and Mother's Day. I want to go. Let's go Phillies. Start off.
Okay. All right. Now the Phillies thing, I'll get into it, but I heard you guys talking a little bit about Taijuan Walker. And I don't think he has much, Walker, but I've always rooted for him, and I'll tell you why. When he was hurt and the Phillies played in the World Series against the Astros, I couldn't help but notice Walker was top step the entire time that they snubbed. He didn't make the roster, yet he was still top step the whole time and was really into
Good
it.
teammate.
I thought that guy's a great teammate.
He's a good teammate.
And that guy's a really good teammate. So I really rooted for him. And I thought that was great what he did last night. And any little thing they get out of Walker, I'm all for. I wish him a lot of success.
Yeah, Pat, I'm with you because I always watch how the teammates respond to somebody like that, and everybody had ear to ear smile for him last night, dapping him up. Like that, it's clear he's loved in that locker room.
Yes, yes. Now our headline on the Phillies is stats ridiculous, and I've been meaning to bring this up ever since we got started, and it just seemed like the right week. And that is the handiwork of my daughter-in-law who was at the game, and I thought, oh my God, I don't have a photo of it. I'm not going to try to come off as an older guy here coming against some of the stats they have in baseball. I get OPS, I get WAR or whatever, but this one drives me crazy. And it might be a little hard to think, but right beside where the outs thing, there's two stats there, and it's 4 and 4, and it's horizontal and vertical. And they murder you with this stat all through the stadium. Now, I love what the Phillies do for the fans. They're very fan friendly. They're always thinking of the fans. Middleton's a great owner in that regard, but they keep pushing this stat about horizontal and vertical. And I didn't know what it was. And I know sports. I asked 3 knowledgeable baseball people involved in coverage what that number's up there for. 2 of the 3 had basically no idea. And the third explained it to me. And I said, why would a fan know what that is or care? And I just don't get it. The horizontal and vertical, every pitch, the numbers change. So it's 4 and 4 there. The next pitch, guys, it might be 2 and -15. What it's measuring is the break of the pitch from top to bottom and side to side.
Right.
Why in God's name, in a fan experience, when you might be having a hard time figuring out who's batting next or what this guy's batting average is, or frankly, how many outs? Why are we be subjecting to some of these numbers?
Yeah, and listen, everybody falls in love with exit velo, right? So this is your counterbalance to the exit velo.
It's an MLB savant era of fans coming up. It's too much. I don't need to know somebody's Wexovicon.
I agree with you. I mean, first of all, it's a meaningless stat, whatever your break is. It really, I mean, I can have the greatest break on a pitch, but if I can't locate it or it goes 500 feet, what good is it? Like, I don't know what you're trying to tell me. I hear you.
Yeah, Nuke Lelouch, when he hit the bull in Durham, his was probably, it was 15 -62.
Right.
And that really broke that one.
Right. No, you're right. You're spot on.
A good point with the exit velo. That's interesting to me. That's indicative of how hard the ball was hit. Okay. Right. I think anybody could relate to that. But this one thing they keep putting in there for, and I spent over a year trying to figure out what it was.
Yeah. No, I think you're spot on, brother. I do. That's crazy. All right, let's go Birds.
Okay. And our headline on the Birds is somewhat from it. We got a new one just as the show was breaking yesterday. The headline there is Howie Does Dallas. Okay.
That's a Daily News headline, baby.
There you go.
That's awesome.
And, you invoke Daily News and it lets me enter. Yep, there he goes. Yeah. Invoke something really quick here with the Daily News. There was a great moment this week, guys, for the Daily News. The Pulitzer Prizes came out, and the Pulitzer decided to give a special exemption citation for lifetime achievement to Chuck Stone of the Daily News.
Get out of here.
Years after the founding of the Association for Black Journalists. And anybody that was from a certain era of the Daily News was very proud about that, because Chuck Stone, people don't know, was a singularly great man, And
Chuck
you know, with
Stone,
Anthony's,
yeah, he was a legend.
yeah, with Anthony's playwriting ability, what he could do with this was that there was a thing back in the day is like when you were in the office and I'm working overnight, you might walk by and you might see a guy like leaning against the wall in the hallway, and you, hey, can I help you? No, good, you know. And then you walk and say, who's the guy sitting on the floor? Oh, he's here for Chuck. Because what would happen was people accused of crimes back in the day, they would come to Chuck Stone, and Chuck would take them to the police just to make sure they were treated properly because Chuck was respected. But for your playwright ability, at one point, Chuck's at home, and Zach Stolberg, the editor, gets a call. There is a riot at Graterford Prison. And
I know the story.
Chuck gets a call, hey, there's a riot at Graterford. And Chuck says, well, all right, well, give me an hour or something. I'll get you a headline. I'll get you a column before deadline. And Zach says, no, man, they need you to go to Graterford. And he, what? They had, I believe they had a guard back behind them. They grabbed the guard and they said that the inmates will only talk to Chuck Stone. And Chuck was, what?
Wow. That's crazy.
What? And then he was a real well tailored guy. He put on a Daily News hat and he went behind the bars and he in the prison and put his life, and he resolved the whole thing. So thanks for the quick ability for me to just praise Chuck Stone.
Hey, Pat, that's a great movie.
Yeah,
it's a great movie.
It's absolutely great. Yeah,
it's a great movie. It would be a sensational movie. Like you could see it. I mean, it starts off in the newsroom with a guy on the floor waiting to see Chuck, right? And then you follow him, you get his backstory, and then you get a taste of Philadelphia back then, and then you see the riots, and then there's like that's a great. In fact, if I ever got that series going, I would have one episode that would be just that story. That's a great story.
Probably happened in your era too, the 70s, Ant. You know, the thing that fascinates you.
I'm so fascinated by that era in Philadelphia. Yeah, it had to be, right? Like, because it was the confluence of all the, like, the richness of the city, like the characters, that you still had real characters involved, right? There was nothing sanitized, homogenized. It was just so real and gritty. And it was the bicentennial, and it had this country, right? Our country's footprints, right, were on Philadelphia. I mean, I don't know. I'm fascinated by it.
Yep. And meanwhile, the Eagles movie for next season gets a lot better in my mind with the signing of how's that for a segue?
I forgot about Goddard.
I was
Goddard.
pumped. This is the best case scenario.
To me, the Goddard thing that was the only question I had. I think the roster's locked and loaded again. All right, Keely Ringo, Adoree Jackson, but they've got guys. They didn't have a guy at tight end, and now they have the guy back. So I think that the Eagles fans should feel really good about that.
I got to tell you, I was over the moon thrilled by it.
Yeah, I think they're. You don't say these parts out loud, but I think they're kind of set up here for a little bit of a prolonged run.
I have to say this because I have to get it off my chest. So I was listening to the radio, and I actually heard somebody talk about Goddard. And this person brought up stats. And he brought up the fact that the Eagles were better when Goddard was not in the game, was out with injury. And he said that they statistically were better as a run team.
No, that's not true.
And that they had a better record.
Calcacare couldn't block Massimo.
Well, exactly. And I'm thinking to myself, this is so. I turned it off. Literally right then and there, I was like, I can't.
I thought they were 1.2 yards a carry better with Goddard in the lineup.
Listen, I don't know. The guy was talking about the
fact
stats.
check that.
I got to tell. I was so blown away by the idiocy of it. I was like, I can't do this to myself.
How many times do we talk when we do the From the Editor's Desk about whether it's the Eagles, the Phillies, the media, law, religion, everything in life comes down to having a feel for the game.
Yes.
And whoever made that comment has no feel for the game.
None.
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 Yeah.
None.
Yeah, and you've seen like to their culture, Josh Sweat takes a discounted deal to do a 1-year kind of deal. Like people want to be here. They see what's cooking at that center.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. I'm with you 100% with that.
I made you guys a photo on Grok if you want to see it.
Oh, that's fabulous.
Charles Barkley is the Pope.
That's fabulous.
You want to send that? You need to send that to TNT, Andrew. That would be right up their alley.
Send it to me. I'll send it to Chuck.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Yeah, say we elected you the Pope of Philadelphia sports today.
See if he accepts it. Will he accept the nomination?
Probably.
Charles came up so big so many times for the Daily News and for me and with my kids and stuff. I think
he's the
world
best.
Of him. I really think. Yeah.
What day's Mother's Day?
Sunday.
It's this Sunday?
Yeah.
What?
Dude, you better get the golden nugget.
Why do you think I have a Mother's Day?
That said Mother's Day. I'm like, wait a second. Mother's Day is Sunday?
I already ordered my gift.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-oh.
What's today? Thursday?
Today's Thursday, yeah.
Holy moly.
I'm getting the gift from the girls on the way home today.
Oh, man.
I made reservations for my mom
call
and
your
mother-in-law.
own.
Come on, get with it.
You better call your own.
Yeah.
You better call Mr. Tony.
I thought it was, I don't know what I was thinking. But when Pat said Mother's Day, I'm going, wait a second. He means Mother's Day?
Yeah.
Mother's Day Sunday?
You know what I think
Yes.
of Mother's Day? Megan Addy wastes her time watching that Celtics series.
Yeah.
Game 7,
Yeah.
Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Massacre.
The Sixers have been a disaster on Mother's Day.
Yeah.
They have destroyed moms. All right? I mean, seriously. Well, that's a segue, Pat. Mother's Day.
There it is. So Mother's Day, I got to tell you about Donegal's biggest Phillies fan.
Ooh.
Okay, and we'll get there. You go.
Look at her.
That's my dear mother, Bridget Teresa McLoone, gigantic Phillies fan. That photo taken by my sister Kate was from the clincher in 2007.
Wow.
If you remember that year, the Phillies, it was a Saturday, they're neck and neck with the Mets, and the Mets scoreboard watching, the Mets are ahead and they fall behind, and the Phillies have the Nationals. The Phillies win, the Mets lose, and they clinch. And my mother was such a big Phillies fan, guys, that I had planned my first trip to Ireland in 2007. Days after this, we were going to surprise my mother because she was getting of an age where she might not go back. So my sister said, look, we're going whether you like it or not. And my brother, who was over there a lot, he's a priest, he was going to take her over. And me and my two sisters flew to Dublin, spent a day, took a train up to Belfast where our relatives came over from Derry and Donegal and picked us up and put us in our cousin's house. Then, well, my mother was already there. They flew over and they took her up for a nap. And when she came down, we were all in the kitchen there for her to surprise her in Ireland.
Oh, that's fabulous.
So that was a beautiful thing. But the thing about it, guys, was it's Phillies related. So now they're going to make the playoffs for the first time in 14 years. I'm scared to death she's going to cancel the trip.
Oh, my
She doesn't know we're going. I think we're going to cancel the trip. So what I wound up doing is I would call her, as I did every day. For 2 days, I had to call her from Ireland to talk Phillies as if it was like I was calling her from Havertown.
Oh, my God. Are you serious?
Over and all. But she was a wild Phillies fan. And let me tell you about people that I'd go to the wall for the rest of my life. The great Dan Baker.
He's the best.
Knew how great a Phillies fan my mother was, and Dan came to my mother's viewing. And if my mother knew that the guy that announced all of her favorite players over the thing, she'd be breaking into tears.
Oh.
And I'll never forget Dan Baker for that. Because it was funny because my parents came over from Ireland. They knew nothing about Philadelphia sports. I think I told you guys, as an example of what little they knew, I grew up in Albany. And when you
tried out for baseball?
Was Albany Midget League. And the league was one league from 9 to 12. You played whether you're 9 and you played the next 4 years in it. And my first practice for the Albany Tigers in the Midget League, my mom wanted me to look good. She sent me to the practice in a sports coat.
That's
sports
great.
coat. And so I show up and the coach, come over here, son. He says, what are you doing with sport? You don't need to do that. We're here to play baseball. I didn't know. And I must have been a decent athlete because they cut back then. The 9-year-olds didn't make the team, but me and Tommy Telfort and Danny Robbins, and Pat Hearn, we were the 9-year-olds who made the team.
Wow,
But
you made the
I
squad
overcame that,
even
but
though
it's
you're wearing a sport coat. Oh, that's
I'm
great.
wearing a sport coat. She went from the person that sent me in a sport coat to knowing more about the Phillies than I did by the end.
Oh, what a story.
She would call into the office every day and she'd get Eddie Barkowitz or Bobby Cooney or Boop Vitrone or Lorenzo Biggs, and she would talk their ear off about the Phillies. Now, they might not have understood her with the Irish brogue, but they knew she was talking Phillies. And she was it was a great thing. I think she saw it as something to share with her son. She knew how much sports meant to me. And, she followed the teams, but she really followed the Phillies. And the way it would manifest itself was I was the oldest, and she would be ironing downstairs, and everybody would go to bed. And then I would appear at the top of the stairs, and she'd see me there, and she'd have the game on, or she'd have Al Meltzer doing the Big Five, and she would wave me down so that I could watch the game with her while the other younger ones were asleep. So, we all have great mothers, but my mother was a great Phillies fan. And her big thing was, God, she hated home run hitters that struck out all the time. Ryan Howard used to drive her crazy. She would be screaming at us, he's up there swinging at fresh air. He's swinging at fresh air. And she would have these really weird malaprops where she loved the second baseman and shortstop of that era. She loved Jimmy Rollins, but she called the second baseman Huntley, like Huntley and Brinkley. So I love that Huntley. So,
God bless her.
It evokes great memories, boys. So I had to make that a thing to honor her and to also wake up Anthony, who's been sick this week and had a big night last week with Cooper and Gene. Jamie, he's got to go in overdrive because you and I and Andrew were here to tell him that it's Father's Day weekend, brother.
Yeah. You got to get on it, man. Get the boys out shopping.
Oh, my God. I know. That's crazy. Thank you. You helped me. You did me a solid.
You still got time. It's not like it's Friday.
Yeah.
You're all right.
Yeah.
We can figure it out.
You've been in tighter spots than this, Anthony.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
All right, what do we got left? We got playoffs.
You got playoff seasons and coaches.
All right, let's go playoff seasons.
Okay. And the headline for this is Dueling Game Sevens. And the photo I have is the cover of the Denver Post, which I thought was very cool because the Avs and the Nuggets played a Game 7 on the same day. That's another Philadelphia scenario I can't imagine.
Oh.
But the Avs drew seventh hell as they lose, and the Nuggets draw seventh heaven with a W. So credit to the fellas at the Denver Post for a nice old school newspaper front page.
Yeah, that's a great front page. It is.
And you know how many times the Sixers and Flyers have played a Game 7 on the same day over the years?
Never?
Never.
Wow.
In fact, again, a second reference to my friend Boop Patrone. I thought about that, and I thought, boy, he'll be right on that. Boop, give me a little background there. Only once before has the same city had a Game 7 on the same day.
Really? Boston?
In 2022, the Mavericks and Stars had it in Dallas.
Wow.
First time ever. And then, so that is, that's amazing.
Seems incredible to me that has never happened.
I know. It really does. And I think the leagues try to guard against that. But again, it puts us into things that we've never seen before. Could you imagine a Flyers and Sixers Game 7 on the same day?
No.
Oh, that's too much to deal with.
Oh, yeah.
Know?
Do you remember the Flyers would play? I remember like big games, but the Sixers would play at like noon or 1 o'clock, and the Flyers would play at 7.
Right. Yes. Absolutely. And, and then you get, when the Phillies involved, they would get involved in switching stuff around.
Yeah.
And the other thing about the playoffs, too, I thought you were great about. I totally agree with what you guys were talking about the Knicks, but the hockey playoffs are nothing like playoff hockey. You know it's a weakness in my game, but you got to acknowledge how great that playoff hockey is. How about Winnipeg? They're down 2 goals with less than 2 minutes left in a Game 7.
Pull the goalie.
They pull the goalie. They score. They get the game tire with, I think, 2 seconds left.
Yep.
And then they win in OT. That's incredible drama.
Amazing.
Incredible drama.
Well, you know what's funny? The 2 playoffs that are amazing, truly, is hockey and baseball. Because once it gets late, it's time. You lose time, right? Because extra innings, it's 2-2 in extra innings. I mean, when the game ends, it ends. Same thing, right? Like, overtime hockey in the playoffs, I mean, like that game you referenced went to 2 overtimes. It's ridiculous. It's unbelievable.
And I go back to the Keith Primo goal with the Flyers. 5 overtimes. I'm on the phone with the then managing editor, Alan Foley, saying, we're begging the plant to push the deadline. And we did, and they, I think that game ended at about 2:30 in the morning.
It did. I was at a bar right on South Street. They kept the bar open.
You remember what bar?
Yeah, it was Matty Brown's.
Yeah, I remember that.
And they kept the bar open.
Nice.
I lived down the street. I was like, I'm going to go watch the game. And I just wanted to get a beer and watch the game. And,
next thing you know, you're 12 deep and you're like, I can't go anywhere.
My wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, she goes, what time? Where you been? I was like, the game went overtime. She's like, oh, you're like, go.
Okay.
Yeah, right. But like, I'm like, no, really, it went to 5 overtime. What? Like, are you kidding me? Incredible.
Yeah. So great stuff.
All right, lastly, coaches.
Here we go. If you've got a couple minutes, there's a couple things. I'm going to toss these all to you guys. Greg Popovich stepping down opened up this world for me. And the world is Phillies coaching carousel. And so I'm going to go through a couple things here. And the first one is, now for the purposes of this conversation, guys, the clock starts when the Flyers franchise starts, so that we have a level playing field, all right?
Okay.
So the clock starts in 1968.
All right.
So my first question to you guys is, 4 for 4, Eagles, Phillies, Sixers, Flyers. Since 1968, which franchise has changed coaches the most often?
I'll say the Sixers.
Yeah.
Excellent guess. Just missed. The Sixers have had 23 coaches during that time. The Flyers have had 24.
Really? You know what? I was thinking between Shiro and...
Well, Shiro's before it, Anthony. No. Shiro's part of it because he's going to come back up. I'm sorry. But it's a good thought because Shiro was around a while.
Yeah, like you had guys that, that had a little staying power, Bob McCann.
We'll get to that. But just so you know, Flyers 24, Sixers 23, Phillies 21, 15 for the Eagles. So now we'll go back to the Eagles because I think it's pretty obvious. And then we'll move across the team. Which Eagles coach had the longest tenure during that time?
Eagles coach? Andy.
Yes.
Andy.
Without a doubt. In fact, Andy's had the longest run of anybody in town.
Yeah.
Andy was here for 14 seasons and 224 games.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Jamie, what Phillies manager has been around the longest during that span?
I mean, Charlie's got to be up there, but I feel like he's not
And
the
Charlie
answer.
would be correct.
Yeah, but it feels wrong.
No, he's right. He's
Oh,
just
it is right. Okay, I thought there was going to be a sneaky.
Yeah.
You can't place that in Anthony's hand because even if a guy was there 50 years, he'd say Charlie anyway.
My main
Charlie,
man.
Charlie, 9 seasons, 1,411 games. Your silver medalist for the Phillies is Danny Ozark with those good teams, 7 years. And your bronze medalist, Jim Fregosi.
Wow. Fregosi is the bronze medalist. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. How about your 76ers longest tenure during that time?
Sixers, you got to go, I guess, Billy C, no?
You guys are hot. You guys are hot. Absolutely. And Billy will come up again. Billy had an unbelievable run. And, you know, Billy's still a guy that makes things happen around town. It's okay. 8 seasons, 650 wins. You'll be shocked by the bronze medalist. No, the silver medalist in games. Games.
This is just total games?
Total games, seasons and games, actually, after Billy. Doesn't speak well of the club.
Wow.
His name came up earlier today
Brett Brown.
when you guys were kicking it around early on.
Brett Brown?
Yes.
Wow.
Brett Brown, that was a long process, guys. 7 seasons,
Wow.
565 games. The bronze goes to another Brown, that Larry Brown,
Right.
at 6 seasons, 460 games.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. And now I'll give you the layup there on the Flyers. Who's the Flyers guy?
It was Shiro.
Yes. Fred Shiro, 7 seasons, 554 games. Shockingly, silver medal, Dave Hackstall.
Wow.
Wow, really? Hackstall?
Wow.
It just goes to show you why there were 24 Flyers
Yeah.
coaches.
Yeah.
4 seasons, 377 games. And this guy I would have expected to be the silver. Silver, Mike Keenan. No, bronze Mike Keenan.
Yeah, I thought
4 years.
I thought Iron
320
Mike.
games.
I thought Iron Mike
Mike.
would be the silver guy.
Iron Mike.
Wow, that's good stuff.
Okay. Now, we'll stay with the Flyers, and it's going to be our guy again. But best winning percentage of the coaches during that time.
Shiro, easy.
Yes. On that one, it is Shiro at 642, Keenan at 610, and Pat Quinn at 630.
Pat Quinn. He used to have the
Wow.
big cigar.
Good stash, right?
Yeah.
The white,
Yeah.
Was he the white stash guy? Who am I thinking of?
No, you're thinking of Hitchcock.
Yeah. Yeah. One of my favorite things about Hitchcock reminds me is I always wanted this to happen, and I always wanted to become the Flyers coach because people won't get this reference. But when they hired Hitchcock, I just stopped everything and said, here's the back page. I want a silhouette of Ken Hitchcock and just put it on the back page.
Ah, that's fantastic. Are you kidding
Like
me?
the old Alfred Hitchcock thing.
Yeah, that's
So,
great.
Yeah. Now, hockey gets murky because of it's not really win percentage, it's points percentage. The worst winning percentage was a guy named Vic Stasiak, who's here for their 2nd and 3rd year in franchise history. But other than that, who is the worst percentage for the Flyers coaches during those years?
The worst coach ever? Wow. Well, it's got to be during, it's either early 90s or late teens.
Nope.
No? Oh, wait. Had to be early
No.
70s, no?
Nope.
I don't know.
You're going the wrong way.
Oh, right now?
Yep.
Wow.
Torts.
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 Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
478.
Wow.
Okay.
Torts.
There's going to be somebody on the medalist stand here that is going to both shock you and piss you both off, which might kind of give it away. But Billy running away, winning percentage for the Sixers, 658. Who has the second best winning percentage for the Sixers during those years?
It's not Larry Brown?
No, not in the top three.
Wow. Then it's got to be like Gene Shue, because remember he was
Nope.
McGinnis and all that team.
Going the wrong way. It's going to aggravate you.
Want to aggravate me?
Eddie Jordan would aggravate you.
No.
This guy almost is first. He almost beat out Billy C. With a winning percentage of 653.
Who?
Doc.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Wow, I forgot all about
Rivers.
that.
I kind of blacked out about that.
Yes, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
But yeah, Jamie has the right instinct. Blacking out's the way to go there. Yeah.
John
Yeah.
Rivers.
Yeah.
Wow,
Doc.
that's
And then
wild.
far off in blinds with
Whether you
Matt
like it
Lucas,
or not.
who followed Billy. Yeah. All right, now your Philadelphia Phillies winning percentage during the years.
Now I got one. Speaking of the Phillies, coming up, you're gonna love our next guest too, Pat. Steve Noworyta, who used to run the minor leagues for the Phillies.
I haven't heard that name in a long time.
Let me tell you,
Boy, he
one of
was
the
a-
great
he was a
baseball
very-
men.
Yeah.
I
Terrific
love Steve.
reputation back in the day.
Yeah,
Yes.
you're gonna love. People are gonna love Stevie. I'm
Serious
sorry, Pat.
baseball man. But who would be number one in winning percentage on your Fightin' Phils all those years?
Number one, it would be. It's either Ozark or Charlie.
Ozark is not in the top three.
Wow, really? All those. They won all those games in 77, 78.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Charlie's got to be
Yep.
it.
Charlie is your bronze medalist.
Bronze? Fergosi?
Yes.
No, it can't be Fergosi.
Nope. Your silver medal, Charlie was at 551. Nothing to sneeze at. Great Charlie Manuel. At 575, your silver medalist is that Dallas Green.
Oh, I was going to mention Dallas, but I didn't know he would. I mean, he only did it for how long?
Yeah, well, this is where longevity doesn't come into play.
I got you.
This is winning percentage.
All right.
Now, at 574, your gold medalist, whose percentage could change.
Topper. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It makes
Best
sense.
winning percentage as he speaks
Yeah.
ever. Well,
Yeah.
not ever.
I mean, over the last
Probably
3 years,
I'm
he's
a
like
top. I'm
he's
a
like
top
second
pick.
best in baseball over the
I'm
last
a
3 years.
topper, man. He gets unduly criticized here.
They said on the broadcast the other night he was one of George Steinbrenner's favorite people.
He is. He's a great dude. Great baseball
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah. Yep. And I'm sure, Steve might have got those things right, your next guest. Now, we'll finish off with the Philadelphia Eagles. Who's your runaway number one winner?
Andy.
Reed, yeah.
silver medalist.
Sirianni.
Oh,
Yep.
Sirianni. Yeah, duh.
Not even close.
Right. Sirianni's ridiculous.
Yes. I think, Andy, if I've got my writing right, was 573. I'm saddened to report that the bronze medalist was Kotite at 563.
Kotite over Vermeil?
Yeah, barely. Remember, Dick had to build it up, right? Right. But then, so Andy's at 573. Nick Sirianni at 706.
Wow.
Incredible.
706. That's insane.
706. Yep. And just for laughs,
do we not appreciate that guy?
I think that's very fair to point that out.
Next week, we should talk about him. I don't know. He's a fascinating dude because he's almost like a passenger on this thing. The number one position in Philadelphia sports above the mayor in Philadelphia, above the mayor, was the Eagles coach. And I mean, if I told you how many times we uttered Andy Reid, right, or Dick Vermeil or Buddy Ryan, like, you know, nobody talks about Sirianni.
Yeah.
Why?
Agreed.
Anyway.
Yep. Just for laughs, the worst ever Eagles was Jerry Williams at 241, 722-2.
Wow.
And your worst Phillies were real close. Pete McCannon, who I think people look at somewhat fondly.
Right.
And Ryan Sandberg, who just didn't get it.
I was not a great player, bad manager. You know?
Yep.
Well, Pat, we love you, buddy. Always the best. From
there
the
you have
editor's
it,
desk.
Okay, take care. Good seeing you, Jamie.
Yeah, you too, Pat.
Yo, brother, thank you for the Mother's Day. Heads up.
Yes.
All right. For a lifesaver. There he is, the great Pat McClune. All right. Bro, let's take care of some business, and then I'm excited to talk to our next guest, Steve Noworyta, a great baseball man, and he's coming up next. But tell us about
maybe
the schedule show.
Maybe your wife or mother loves Philly sports trips. Maybe she wants to go on the road next year with the Birds. And we got something cool coming up because on Monday night, PHLY is going to be hosting a schedule release extra primetime show at 7:30 p.m. And it's all going to be presented by our friends over at Philly Sports Trips. It's Wednesday, May 14th. I said Monday. It's Wednesday. My brain is mush. But 7:30 p.m. The Eagles show is going to be doing their normal 2 o'clock show. And then 7:30 p.m. Anthony's going to be joining the mix for the all-exciting schedule release show when the Birds find out who they're playing in the 25-26 season. So tune in to see the PHLY team, catch up on the matchups coming down for the reigning champ Philadelphia Eagles. And the extra show is going to be held on Wednesday, May 14th, 7:30 p.m., presented by our friends over at Philly Sports Trips.
I love it, man. Let's make sure you're hanging with us. Hey, let's talk about Rothman Orthopedics and our great friends at Rothman who keep us in motion. So whether you're a driveway man, right? You're a weekend warrior, you're trying to keep up with your kids like me. I mean, if I told you, I can't even go back.
Yeah, my shoulders cooked.
I mean, how many pitches I threw to Moscow? Oh, my God. I got to stretch it out now. Just doing that makes me feel like, Daddy, let's go to the field. All right. This is where Rothman comes into play. Don't let pain slow you down. Time to take action. Head over to RothmanOrtho.com/PHLY and schedule your appointment today. Rothman's 180-plus fellowship-trained physicians specialize in specific areas of the body and a multitude of orthopedic services, including hip, knee, spine, shoulder, elbow, foot, ankle, hand, wrist, sports medicine, physical medicine, rehabilitation, orthopedic oncology, trauma, and fracture care. All right? It doesn't get better than Rothman when it comes to your treatment. So again, go to RothmanOrtho.com/PHLY to schedule your appointment today and get you back to being your best self. Rothman Orthopedics, where getting you back to your game is their mission. All right. Now, joining us, I can't wait. I met Steve years ago, one of the great baseball men you ever want to meet, who did an amazing job behind the scenes in that Phillies World Series, building that team. He's one of the great baseball men you're going to, and he retired in our area.
Nice.
So I'm like, Stevie, you got to come on the show, man. I got to get you. Let's welcome Steve Noworyta. Good morning, Stevie. How are you, buddy?
Anthony. Oh boy, I tell you what, it's great to be on. It's I know, and you talk about when that last time we talked, it was 17 years ago, right before the playoffs in 2008 on the sidewalk, back-to-back days.
Oh my God, you look great. God bless you. You look fantastic. I mean, it's funny. I'm looking at you, and those moments are flooding back. What a glorious time that was, Stevie. It was a special time for this club.
You know what? No doubt. The best part about it for me was rebuilding. I came here in 98, and Ed Wade took over. And it was surprising to come here. And I felt like I went back to 1776 instead of 1998. I mean, the weight room was the size of about a 5-foot table. Just the players were getting hurt right in AA, and they couldn't understand why. And in Chicago, we were pretty fortunate. We had some really good people. You talk about Dick Vermeil. We had we had, along with his brother, and then we had Vern Gambetta. He was a track and field guy, and we were doing parachutes and all that other stuff with the rubber bands, medicine balls back in the 80s,
Wow.
early 80s. And people would ask us, because we didn't have injuries, and they asked what we were doing, and basically it was all prehab stuff. And so we were fortunate enough to bring that all here, and to rebuild that from 98 until we won it in 08 was special. It's something that I'll never forget.
You know what was, I thought Ed, people don't give Ed Wade the credit he deserves. He was a great GM, man. He understood. Listen, there were limitations from ownership during that time before the Citizens Bank was built. We had the saddle with the vet, and ownership had a cap on salary. And Ed, I think, bringing you on and having like what you guys did in the minors. That's Ryan Howard and Utley and Jimmy and all those guys are from your era.
Well, you know what? We brought that winning culture. That was what was missing. You figure that time before that, it was tough. You went in the minor leagues and, they just played. They didn't understand how to win.
Yeah.
And Dallas was always getting on me about, all you care about is winning. I said, no, it's not about that. I said, you got to let these players understand how to win. We'll never take away innings or at-bats from prospects, but we're going to surround them with good players so that they had to pitch to those prospects. And those prospects hit, they began to start hitting, and all of a sudden we started to win. And what did, Charlie and those, and in fact, before Charlie, it was Larry Boa managing the club. And Larry had that same mentality. Man, that spring training, he was the work ethic behind that, the way they were running guys. I remember that May, I think we won like 20-some games in that month of May because of the physical part of it, the physical conditioning. And that's what started to build. And like you said about Ed was behind the scenes, but what he brought, he had his rules, regulations of what we had to do. But we had great people. We had Dallas Green, that was telling us a lot of things. The Pope. I remember when I talked to the Pope, I accepted the job, and Lee Elia told me, you need to call the Pope. So I called him, and we talked for about over an hour and a half. And when I got done with the Pope, I knew we were going to win because of philosophy. I mean, the philosophy was so on. And it was so funny. When we won, when I was looking for homes when I moved here, the lady who I hadn't seen since the time we moved, she called me when we won because on that bridge, at the Walt Whitman Bridge, she goes, "Do you remember what you said to me?" I said, "Yeah, I do." I said, "We were on top of that Walt Whitman Bridge, and I said we were going to win." And she called me right after that World Series just to remind me about that. It
Wow.
it goes it goes back to the philosophy, the work ethic. I mean, we had great field coordinators, the coaching staff, and Mike Arbuckle and Marty Wolver and those guys were tremendous with the drafts. And a funny story with the drafts, we're in the old vet, and Marty and Mike goes, we're sitting in the visiting locker room of the football locker room, and Mike goes, let's go get something to eat. So we all go get to eat, and Marty says, "What about our computers?" He said, "Just leave them here; they're safe." We get back, all of our computers were stolen.
What?
So we're 5 days away from the draft, and the computers were gone. Luckily, Jay McLaughlin had a backup, or else, man, we'd have been in trouble because all of our computers were gone out of the visiting coaches.
Good old South Philly, man. Yeah.
Oh man, you're not kidding. Somebody had our reports, but we still did a pretty good job with it. But I mean, to see those players come in, and my first year, I'm in the Dominican Republic, and there's Chuchi. He's playing second base in La Vega, and then to see this guy develop to what he did, I'll never forget during the minor league time, when he was in the big leagues, he'd come in our office and he'd break down because he wasn't hitting. I go, "Choops, don't worry about it. Everything's going to be fine. You're going to do a good job." And then finally, for me to see when he finally made it, we're in the players' lot at Citizens Bank Park. And all of a sudden, this Mercedes pulls up, tinted windows. All of a sudden, the window goes down, and Chuchi's got a smile from mile to mile. I said, "Chuchi, you did it, boy. You did it." So, I mean, those were some fantastic times with Chase Utley and Ryan Howard. And I mean, to me, it's something that's special that you just don't forget.
Yeah, that's such a great story about Chooch. Like, first finding him, like you said, he was a second baseman, and like here you're digging in the Dominican Republic, looking for gems, and you get this kid, and he turns out to be just such a great catcher. He turned out to be a good hitter. Doc loved him. I mean, like the fans loved him. Like that's the ultimate kind of, for a guy that is in charge of scouting in the minor leagues, that's got to be the greatest thing in the world as a gift.
Well, you know what, Sal Augustinality, what he did out in Dominican, and you got to remember these players that we found too that on that 08 club, like Clay Condry, Chris Coast. The reason why we got guys like this is because you had relationships with other clubs. The assistant GM where I got Clay Condry from, him and I, when I was 16, I was working at a bowling alley in Chicago, and he was the bartender. And I said, I said to him, I said, "Who would think we'd be making deals like this with two guys like that?" He always would get mad at me. He goes, "I knew that guy was going to make the big leagues." And he would always ask me, "What do you got for me?" I said, "Man," and this is when we were struggling in the system. I said, "Man, I don't have any players, but if I get something that could help you, I'll help you." And then Chris Coast was a guy, we're in 2001 in Buffalo, in the Governor's Cup to go to the finals of the Governor's Cup. So we're playing him. Chris Coast was just killing us with the bat. And that last game, it went 17 innings. But that day, in the third inning, he started jawing it out with the umpire, and he got thrown out. And I'm sitting in the stands. I said, "We're going to win," because this guy was out of there. So, and he was special. He was a fan favorite, the way he did his work, just a good work ethic guy. But yeah, that was, again, it all goes back to the work ethic and the things that we did in spring training to build that. And Ed allowed us to do our work.
What was the backstory behind Howard, right? Because he kind of blossomed late, right? As a power guy. Like I just remember, because we had Tommy here, Charlie brought Jimmy here to help usher in the new yard. How did it all, like, when did you realize that, oh my God, we got something special with Howard?
Well, it really started to happen in Reading. That's when those numbers, those power numbers. And if you remember, when Howard came in, he was using the whole field. I mean, if they put a shift on like they did later, this guy was hitting balls out to right and left and center. He used the whole field.
Yeah.
You know what? In the time when we got Tommy, it was the right time for Tommy. That was showing that to Philadelphia that we're serious. And Jimmy, it was at his time where it was time to maybe move on, and thankfully Howard was coming at the right time. So it was perfect. It was almost like it was meant to be that way. It reminds me of a story. Jim Snyder, God rest his soul, when I was in Chicago, we had Frank Thomas at the same level.
Yeah.
And and now Frank's ready to go to the big leagues. He's tearing up Double A in Birmingham, and he's complaining the whole time about, hey, I should be in Chicago. And Jim Snyder had the greatest line. He said, Frank, your head may be in Chicago, but your ass is in Birmingham. it put him right in his place, I'm telling you. So it all kind of fit. But it was, to Ed's credit, he kind of put this all together, and it got us to that point. And again, I'm thankful because Pat Gillick was special.
Yeah.
Pat was, I can understand why Pat won. His photographic memory, he could tell you players from anywhere. And to me, I think that's why he had the success, because he remembered players that, oh, I should get that guy to help our club. And he was special, but a lot of credit goes to Ed for what he did here.
Yeah. I mean, Howard had some of the most amazing like the 58 home runs. I mean, you got to be kidding me. And then you just had great baseball players. Like you look at Chase and you look at Jimmy, and that core, the greatest core in the history. I mean, with that and the Schmitty Boa core were the best cores in the history of the franchise.
No doubt. And at that time, Dave Montgomery, we didn't have the money. You had to really kind of earn your way. And if you look at it at the time, I think there was 11 of our own minor league players, and then the two free agent guys that were helping us out. I mean, 6-year free agents from Coast and Clay Condrey. And, you think about it now, Clay Condrey probably wouldn't be as important, because he's a guy that when you're in the 10th inning, he took you to the 14th.
Yeah.
And now they put him in at second. The game's over within an inning or two. But they all played a role, and their makeups were unbelievable. That was a key too. Everybody got along. It was special. It truly was a special team.
How difficult is it? Because scouting in baseball is so hard, because especially you're dealing with high school kids who, their bodies are changing, right? You're projecting so much. It's got to be difficult. It's probably the hardest sport, I think, to draft. Where do you go? What is it? Talent? Are you looking at your projections? How much you're going to develop? Because development is so key too in this whole thing. So what's your mindset going into, say, the draft and scouting these kids?
Mike was very big at, and Marty they were very big at high school guys, because they felt really strong with development that they can develop with. And, it's a 4 to 5 year process, where a college guy, you can get there a little bit quicker. But if you pick the right guy in the rounds, like the first and second round, and you projected it right, which to their credit, they did. And then you see it develop like that. And what was nice is that you had a short season A club, you had your Gulf Coast League club going at the time. So you gave them a little more time to get to that point. That the game has really changed now, where it's different. It's almost like, the college guy's the guy that's going to come right now, and he's going to help you in a year or two. It was fun, because those are the guys that you want to make sure that you can really develop, because they're looking for help, because they're not really getting it as much in high school. Where a college guy, if he's coming out of a good school, you have a chance that this guy moves quicker. But it's an art. But there's as many success stories, you have just about as many failures to it too, which it hurts. It's a tough business.
Who is the one guy that comes to mind? You went like the minute you laid eyes on him, you went star. Like you knew it.
Well, for me, I think Cole Hamels,
Yes.
was a guy.
Yeah.
Makeup right out of the chute. It's almost like they're mature before their time.
Yeah.
That's what you're kind of looking for. If you got a guy that's a little, immature, that's going to take longer. But guys like that make it a lot quicker and easier to do. But he's a guy that was special throughout his system and didn't have to really ride him much. He knew his work ethic. He knew what he had to do. And these guys, to their credit, I mean, I'm going off of the Larry Rojas style and also the Dallas Green style of work ethic. Dallas always said in spring training, you break it down in tens. The 30 days of spring training in the minor leagues, the first 10 is conditioning. The second 10 is fundamental. And the third 10 is game ready. And I'm telling you, in between there, you didn't have their legs. But when that last 10 came, man, they were ready to go. It was fun to see that. I mean, and I'm not sure if you could do all the stuff that we did back then, because at the end of a spring training, we ran our guys for an hour, 3 20-minute segments, and the one thing that you knew when you had them, as you know, as an athlete, that when you're grabbing the bottom of your shorts and gasping for air, you knew you got them. You got inside them. You would always tell them, okay, this is the 7th or the 8th or 9th inning. This is what's going to take you through those innings right there. And I mean, and you saw players get better. I mean, because of that. And they could, when the season started, they weren't tired. They weren't gassed for any reason. And the one thing that I really liked with the Phillies, we really got into the physical side of it. When a pitcher came in from high school or college, they'd put them up against the wall with these lines. And if they saw that their whatever side they threw on, their left or right shoulder was lower than the other, we shut them down. They wouldn't pitch for 6 weeks. And then our conditioning people, by that 6th week, that shoulder got back up and even with the other one. Then you knew you had a healthy shoulder, a rotator cuff, everything.
I didn't know that. That's fascinating.
It's a credit to all those, that you take the time and you listen to your strength people and allow them, because you're not at the time the Gulf Coast League. We're not trying to win a Gulf Coast League championship. Right. We're trying to get these guys so they can pitch all the way till the end of their careers, and it paid off. The injuries were minimal because of that.
How do you feel today when you think about pitchers today and the idea of pitch counts? I mean, even the other night, Wheeler is at 84, and he doesn't come out for the 8th. And Wheeler loves he's a workhorse. But how do you feel about that? I mean, you saw what they did with Skeens and all these young kids that come up, and it's treated with kid gloves.
Somewhere along the line, I know towards the end of my career, I really started to see it, and I don't know. I always ask myself, I want somebody to tell us what we did wrong. What did we do wrong when these guys were staying healthy and all that? And the things that I see that are problems are deliveries. All the things that you see guys flying off or coming off their pitches, you wonder why you have injuries, because they're putting stress on that shoulder. I think sometimes, seeing like Wheeler and all that, there was when you pitched a complete game, what an honor that was. I mean, and if you didn't have the bullpen, so now you're able to relax and you got your guys ready for the next couple games. And it never hurt guys. In fact, I think people pitched better, or pitchers pitched better when they were a little bit tired the next time. So, to see that and to see some of the stuff that you're seeing, I mean, even in college, I'm seeing where they put a base next to first base. I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah.
Holy mackerel. What are we doing? I mean, it's kind of taken away from what this game really was. I mean, So I think I'm blessed that it was a great era. My son's in it now. He's a manager now with the Kansas City Royals in their farm system. So so I'm living through him right
That's
now to see him.
fantastic. That's
Yeah,
fantastic.
so he's an old school,
Is
but he's
JJ
got
still
this.
running the Royals?
Who's that? Yeah, JJ is. I'll tell you, that's a really good program.
He's really good. I love JJ Picola. Yeah, he's fantastic.
He did a nice job with his club last year, and I got a chance to meet his owner in spring training, and this is last year. And I said, your club reminds me of that '07 Phillies a little bit. And then my wife and I went to Kansas City in September. He goes, "You're the guy that said, hey, this reminds me of the '07." I said, "Here we are getting ready for the playoffs," because you could just see it coming. Because you know what happens? You see all the little things that they do: bunting, hit and run, stealing bases. And again, Bobby Witt, Chase Utley, same two guys. I mean, and everybody follows that guy.
I got to tell you, Steve, I love Bobby Witt, right? And I mean, here is a story. So I have a 12U travel player, right? And I tell him about Bobby Witt all the time because, these kids, God forbid if you strike out, God forbid you make an error, like it's the end of the world, right? Like, and I told him in high school, Bobby Witt was like the man, right? So everybody was gunning for him. There was a huge, against a rival, big game. He said, the scout was saying, the whole crowd is chanting against him. He strikes out 3 times, right? Which was unheard of. But each time he struck out, he went back. It was on the front rail, rooting on his teammates, right? First one. He would go, he was the bat boy for his team. Like, he would run out and get the bat, right? And everybody. This is the best player on the team. Then, of course, he gets his 4th at bat in a tie game, hits the game-winning home run. But he struck out 3 times before that, was on the front rail, cheering on his team. And I give him that lesson, man. That's a ball player.
That is a ball. And you like to see more players like that. I don't understand. I mean, the hustle, just like Chase was. Chase ran everything out. Yeah. And things happen when I think a lot of these positional players get caught off guard because they get up and they look at the ball and they look at Chase or Bobby, and all of a sudden they're at first base already. And that's why I tell my son, I said, listen, if you run into issues with players, all you got to say is, if you were in the big leagues, what would Bobby Witt say to you? And you know what? That puts everything in perspective because he's not going to put up at the big league level. And, players like that, I love guys because they truly love the game. Yeah. I mean, I know there's all the guys out there love the game, but he goes above and beyond what he has to do. And I believe that's why, they have a lot of success there in Kansas City because of him.
It was like, obviously Bryce is like that here. Like you want to talk about regal from the jump, Bryce was the wonderkin. Like he's rare in that at 13, he was the greatest player of his generation, and he stayed that way.
Yes. Well, and to me, I mean, what he does with the Fanatic shoes and everything for the city, this city's awesome. When you win, it's this place. And I'll tell you the truth, when you lose, you deserve what's coming to you because they make you better. The fans make you better because they want to win. I remember my neighbor, we made a trade, and I'm in the minor leagues, and it's something Ed did. And I'm like, man, this guy's not talking to me. What the heck happened here? And then finally he said, why did you make that? I'm like, well, wait a minute. Don't be chopping down my hedges over here because you're mad at me,
It's fabulous. That's Philadelphia. We love it. Like, you know, and listen, you're from Chicago. You know the deal. It's very similar in that sports is everything. Like, it's part of the culture.
Well, you know what? To me, if you can work in New York or Philadelphia, you can work anywhere.
Yeah.
Chicago, for me, coming from the White Sox, we were second fiddle to the Cubs. You guys are on the South Side. They didn't even know we were there. I mean, practically, the Sun Times and all that was kind of, real easy for us. But to come here and to go through what you had to here, oh man, I love the city because of the fans, and see what they did with the Eagles and that Broad Street, the go down Broad Street for the parade. I remember Dave Montgomery said, I said, there's, a few people always said, wait till we make this corner, and all of a sudden it was a sea of red. And you're like, oh my God, it's all worth it to work hard for the city of Philadelphia.
Yeah, that day was special, man. Halloween, it was like 72 degrees. I'll never forget it. Like it was yesterday. And just that sea of red that you talked about.
And for me, talking to you guys on that sidewalk in front of the Citizens Bank Park, I remember we were just joking around because we were talking about the World Series and some of the minor league guys and all that. I mean, to this day, I still remember. I thought that was so neat to do, and you were great to it. But I can't believe it's almost 17 years that
I know, man.
I know we always connected or said hello, but
I know.
I
mean, this is great. Stevie, I got to get you on regularly just to talk about the game. Like, just be our analyst and talk about the game and have some fun. You have such great wisdom to share.
I love it. I mean, because I love this game, and there's a lot of things I feel like it still do. But and we were talking about the orthopedics with Rothman. I think I did them all. I don't know if you knew I was in 2 car accidents with the Phillies. I broke my neck in one of them.
Oh man,
my femur, and Rothman put me back together. Man, I'm telling you.
Wow.
We had really good doctors. I mean, it was the two, one coming back from Lakewood, both coming back from business with the Phillies, but one was coming back from Lakewood. I mean, a guy was passing, went my lane, started driving the wrong way, and knocked me into 3 other cars. And I'm looking at my leg, and my femur's through my pants here, and I'm like, oh man, what is that?
Oh my God!
So, but Rothman, those doctors were special. I'm telling you. They were, and to hear you rattle off them, I said, okay, I got that one. I have that one, I guess.
Hip, spine, knee, feet. You got it all, buddy.
Neck. You got it.
Oh, God bless you, brother.
Man.
Well, you look like $1 million, man. So let's do it. Well, every couple of weeks, we'll just talk ball. All right?
You let me know. I'm home, so I'm the house husband now. I'm over at Costco right at 10 o'clock. So
well, I gotta get you up with Charlie. Charlie's coming up, so we'll have we all gotta. I'll get Larry, and we'll go get a bite to eat.
I love both those guys. I mean, they're special. They really are. It's good baseball right there. That'd be great.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, man. You're the best, brother. God bless you. And best to your son. I love that, man. It's awesome that he's doing that.
Yeah. No, thanks for having me on. It was so great. It made my day. I
listen, just the first of many. So thanks, pal.
Okay. Great. Thanks, Anthony.
The great Steve Noworyta. What a great guy Stevie is.
Yeah, lifer.
Yeah,
you love the baseball lifer.
I do. I like those sports wisdom guys, any sport, football, baseball.
You love a lifer.
I do. Because you learn from those guys. Like I always would talk to it's funny, like you don't learn just by watching games or whatever. Like you got to talk to these people.
Yeah.
And when you talk to these people, you get this kind of wisdom that comes from it. Little nuance is really how if you really love sports, to study it. Like that's kind of what I've always, that.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So you want to introduce us because we got Danny.
Yeah, we're just going to take a quick little set change here so we can show off some of his awesome work here at the Art of Words. So we'll be back in like 30 seconds.
Yeah, it sounds good. You want to talk about let's talk about a couple of sponsors, and then we'll go and have a little set change and talk to Dan. But tell us about the golf outing.
Yeah, the golf outing is awesome. It's coming up in June 14th. There it is. Right there, the shotgun start at 2 o'clock over at Jaws's Valley Brook Country Club. Andrew played in it last year with some of his family. Said they had an absolute blast. It's all brought to you by Xfinity. So it's going to be awesome. Second annual. Looking forward to it. I unfortunately missed last year, so I'm excited to get out there with everybody and hack it up. I think we got Fran and Bo, myself, Rich Hoffman, a bunch of others on the staff here all playing. So we'll have a good time. We'll have some beers, dinners included, some post-round drinks. The 19th hole is always the best part of golf. So hopefully you can join us. So head to allphly.com, go to the events tab up top, right there for you. Golf outing, June 14th. It's going to be a blast. Hope to see you out there.
I love it, man. That's good stuff.
And diehards, don't forget, you get a little discount on that action.
Yeah, man. That's good stuff. All right, let's talk about Parks Casino, Street Road, Bend, Salem, and all the great acts. I told you yesterday, we've been talking about this, but Bill Murray will be at Parks Casino. The Bill Murray will be up. We found out, we knew this, that Baldy had a Bill Murray story.
Of course. He's got a story about everybody.
Yeah. It really is like the 6 degrees of Baldy.
Yeah.
As long as there's no Diddy stuff. No.
I don't think so.
Oh, come.
Baldy don't play that.
I get this here, Baldy. Parks Casino, our casino of choice, have it all. Action, excitement, headline entertainment, and yes, Bill Murray. All right, one show, Saturday, November 15th, 8 p.m. at Parks Casino. Bill Murray, and he's going to join forces with the band. It's called Blood Brothers. Mike Zito, Albert Catiglia, and they've got 45 years of experience, blues rock, and Bill Murray's going to play with them.
It's awesome.
He does the harmonica?
Yeah, I think so.
That's cool, man. One show only, Saturday, November 15th, Parks Casino. This is how you win. Tickets on sale now for these shows. June 6th, Taj Mahal and Kev Mo.
I sang the wrong song. I've been singing the wrong song.
Ah,
I've been
come
singing
on.
Clutch's song and not their song. I don't know their song. I was doing a bang, 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 the whole thing. That's Clutch. That's not them.
Now, let me ask you a question. You've been singing the wrong song.
When you look up the new song.
When you look up a song?
Yeah, what do you got?
I knew. Yeah.
Well, when you look up a song
I
to
just
sing?
found this out.
It's breaking news.
Yeah.
July 3rd, Gary Clark Jr.
Here come old flat top. Here come grooving up slowly.
Go ahead, Joey. July 18th, KC, the Sunshine Band.
Get down, get down, get down, get down, get down tonight, baby.
Baby.
Oh, I got to do it for both of us since he's not here.
September 6th, UB40.
Red, red wine.
It's a groaner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. November, comedians, Brian Regan, November 22nd. Russell Peters, September 27th. ParksCasino.com to buy tickets for all shows. Parks Casino. This is how you win. You got to be 21. Gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right. Set change, and then we're going to talk a little art.
Yeah.
The art of
Dan
words.
Duffy. He's the man.
I like it. That's coming up next. this is awesome. All right, because one of the things that we love, right? So we love sports. I love it. I love sports. I love art. Bro can tell you, I love art.
You're a cultured gentleman.
Not really, but I love art. I mean, and interestingly, I love words. Now, I like to write words and put words together. We have a man who combines them to make incredible, just amazing pictures that are, I still can't believe that he does this. Dan Duffy, Danny, I've known you forever. Your work is just amazing. Like, it's brilliant stuff. You could see some of the pieces. This is Brad Lidge, since we're talking about the 80 Phillies today. This is Brad Lidge celebrating the World Series.
This is what kicked Dan's company off here.
I mean, Danny, first of all, welcome.
Thank you.
Or
Thanks
welcome
for
back,
having me.
I should say.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Again, you know how I feel about you. Your stuff, I have stuff in my office that you have done that's just amazing stuff. First, how did it all begin? Tell us the whole backstory.
I mean, I was always an art major in high school. I went to Indiana, Pennsylvania as an art major, but really focused.
Rugby meathead.
Yeah,
focused on art.
Focused on rugby. And then I came to the city. I went to Huston School of Art. And when I was dating my wife, it was 2008 in the spring, and we kind of just followed the Phillies that entire year. And when we won the World Series, I think we were at McGlinchey's downtown, and
wings.
And we, I was like, I got to do something cool for this season. And I remembered an art project where you can take words. I would also make art out of stamps, where I just stamp something many, many times and create a portrait out of different stamps and stuff. And it was pointillism. It's going back to Surratt, who was a
right. Yeah,
Surratt was the famous. First time I ever saw Surratt was in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and they go to the Chicago Museum, and there's the famous Surratt, and it was just little tiny dots. And I always remember
one of the great museums on the planet is that Chicago Museum of Art.
Yeah,
along with ours.
Yes,
yeah,
ours. I don't know, slight ours, but that Chicago Museum of Art is
with the parade
amazing.
and the art museum is at the forefront of it.
Great backdrop.
Yeah,
I'm glad that they kept the parade there for this one. But yeah, I wanted to impress her. I remembered she was from Wayne. She drove a Lexus. I had one of my grandparents that couldn't drive anymore.
You gotta know, it's Chevy Nova.
And I'm from Lansdale. I was like, how am I going to impress this girl? And I decided I'm just going to write out every game from the season, really just as a side project. And it was her idea to say, hey, 2009 home opener, let's go down and get some prints, roll them up with a rubber band. And literally the first person, as soon as we parked, we get out of the car, grab the prints, start to roll a couple up. And the first person I asked was our neighbor, the car next to us. And I said, $10. I wrote out every game. And first person I showed was the first sale. And it's the Philadelphia fans, like ever since I quit my job, I guess 2010.
Wow.
And then it was a graphic design job. And then all the teams got really bad. Right? Think about 2013.
Dude, listen,
I'm like, what am I doing with my life?
We have something in common because ratings are tied to sports teams. I mean, people go, well, how come the ratings that? Well, everybody stinks at the moment, so it's kind of hard to maintain and talk sports when everybody goes, I don't want to talk about this stuff. By the way, we are in overtime. OT, baby. This is what we are. All right, Danny, so tell us. So it's 2010 now.
Yeah.
You quit your job.
Quit my job. I had done a lot of the Philadelphia pieces, all Philadelphia art, the history of the vet, history of the spectrum. Reggie.
I have the Reggie one. Let me see the vet and the spectrum.
Yeah.
Like this is.
Top half's the vet, bottom half's the spectrum. Reggie, every sack for his career.
That's awesome.
Date, quarterback, and how many times he sacked him. I love the one where he's got Sims first and then Hostetler second in the same game.
I mean, you know what's amazing? I'm just looking at this thing. This thing is so outrageous. It's so incredible how you get the words to tell the shapes. Like,
it's a lot of fun finding the words too. You know,
Right.
what especially with that one, it's just like there was also going to be concerts. There's going to be boxing events at the Spectrum. And, you know, championship seasons, first game to the last game, date, score, the opponent, they're fairly easy.
Right.
But all-time rosters are a lot of fun.
oh man, it's so cool. Look at that Doc one, man. That's
82, 83,
Yeah.
of course, 72.
Look at that.
73, 74.
How do you get the faces like that? Your faces are amazing.
Funny about this. There's two shots. One, Bobby Clark smiling. The other shot, and Perrant's head's down. You can't see it. And then there's another one with Perrant having a great smile, and Bobby Clark's like talking to somebody on the side. So I kind of try to combine both of the faces. And this was early work. I mean, I'm doing a lot more detailed work now. But this is what started.
Are spot on.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, your faces. It's funny. I love the doodle. I like.
He does doodle a
I'm
lot.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Like,
I saw some of your pictures of your kids, man.
like I'm pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Like not
Pretty good.
No, for a hack, right? And I love it. I see a pro, like a real talent like you, and I'm like, wow, like your face is like that's Bertie Perrant, that's Bobby Clark, that's incredible. Look at that
There's the
cover.
other combo. I had to get Schmitty in there.
Maybe like it's so great, like just how he did that, bro.
Yeah.
You know,
The looking at the reactions at each World Series to everybody's reactions, and then what's the pose going to be? It had to be this MVP season, every game, date, score, and how many points.
like the words that are shaded under the armpit, like that's the level of deep detail that is so cool. And the elbow pad that he used to wear.
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna like this one too.
He's given. I believe you've given Charlie this, right?
Yeah. Got one to Charlie.
Thank you very much, son.
He was very cool. Got an Instagram post from him, and all the
That's a great
Phillies he
job.
ever coached.
I mean, you could almost see his aura. Charlie's got a great aura, and in this, his aura comes
With
on
his
in the
stat
picture.
line at the bottom, world champs in there, pennants. It's awesome.
And just leaning, looking over at the field.
That's beautiful.
Let's see what else. Oh, and this is the second piece I did.
Look at that.
You know, so it was in 2000.
That's awesome.
It was in 2009 where we're tailgating, we're walking, hanging out in the K lot, and then we got the news that Harry passed away. I started this at 6:00 at night, the night before his funeral at the stadium, and I got done at 7 a.m.
Wow.
Unassisted, and I just couldn't go to sleep. It was so much fun finding all of his, and I wanted to give it to the family. And of course, I have this big thing of art. It was probably this big when I did it. And we're waiting in line, and they say, you can't come in with that. And I said, okay. We went back to the car, and I listened to it in the car. But later, I was able to get it to his family, and it's actually hanging in the Laurel Hill Cemetery next to his shoes and jacket.
God, are you serious?
Yeah.
That's
That's
awesome.
beautiful.
Thanks. So, and then ever since
I want to
then-
ask you a question.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
As someone that, the way you mentioned it, working from 6 at night to 7 in the morning, I've done those as a writer. I've done that. And do you get the same sensation of time melting away? Like time, when you're so heavily concentrating in something, that time almost dissipates.
For
Did
sure.
you have that kind of
when you
sensation?
get in the zone, and that's why even just like little interruptions completely break you. And it's like, even if it's just a hearing something from your phone, it's like you get out of that zone, and it'll take maybe a little bit to get back.
Yeah.
But when you're in the zone and you're just working, and next thing you know, you're like, was that 4 hours?
Yeah.
What-
I get
what
that.
happened?
Yeah, it's amazing. Time just
I'm
melts.
hungry.
Like I look up and I go, oh my God, it's 4:30 in the morning. Like, wow,
Yeah.
It's the zone.
Yeah, no, there's different types of zones. You know,
Yeah.
got the athletic zone and the sports zone, and you know we're all
art
lucky.
zone.
The
We're all
creative,
lucky
yeah.
anytime we can get into it. And then ever since then I've just been expanding from Philadelphia, doing a lot of college football now and baseball stadiums, all-time rosters of baseball stadiums going back to, you know, well into the 1800s. When you got a couple,
How cool is that?
100,
Yeah.
Bro.
150 years of Braves, 150 years of Reds, and we just did 140 for the Phillies to make Citizens Bank Park. So, yeah, the college pieces, we got Auburn coming up pretty soon, and
Oh my God, that's great.
yeah.
So what a dream, right? Like you're doing stuff you love to do in this world of sports. Like how great is that?
Listen, I always wanted to make art, but there's a reason I went to art school, and that's because I'm really bad at reading and writing. So the fact that I am writing words all day is poetic. I remember getting in trouble at North Penn High School, and you get in trouble in detention. You'd have to write the rules. And then same with Bart Simpson.
Yeah.
You know, he's got to write the rules on the thing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like ironic that this is how it turned out. But when these things get close to finished, and I could see that, you know, the fans are gonna, if not buy it, at least appreciate the effort that
dude,
comes
that's
into
great.
it. It's always worth it for sure.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he's got musical stuff. He's got a bunch of local stuff. I know you did like Campbell's and Chestnut Hill, a lot of like Boathouse Row.
It's amazing. Well, you always talk about the Palladium. I was down there before Monster Jam 3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago, and I didn't know my art was in the Palladium.
Yeah.
Bam.
Oh yeah.
Two of them right
That's
there.
awesome.
I go,
Yeah,
wow, it's
yeah.
so cool.
Yeah. How great
And,
is that?
Just hearing the reactions from people that, remember seeing me in the K-Lot, and then we're over 15 years later now, and it's amazing,
So you're getting commissioned from all over.
One of the first times I heard about him was from my mom. So I had known about the Prince and the work, and I had met. She called me one day. She's like, oh, I think it was CBS Saturday Morning did a piece on you, or maybe.
Yeah.
And my mom's like, do you know this Art of Words? I'm watching this guy on CBS Saturday Morning. He blew up, and I was like, hey, yeah, it's Dan. So he
awesome.
blew up, man.
And now you can't even get this guy to golf with you.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
No, it's awesome, and I'm just gonna keep going. We got two sports pieces, one music piece. Really cool thing, Masters Sunday. The Capitals had me come down and do every Washington Capital ever. 50 years was their anniversary.
He met my buddy, who's a season ticket holder of the Caps. I get a
No
picture.
way.
I get a picture from the two of them at the bar across the
That's
street.
awesome.
His buddy left a brand new Ovechkin jersey at the bar. Okay, we're like, where'd they go? Where'd they go? They're gone, and I put it on. I'm taking all kinds of pictures. I had beer stains on it. We got a text because we said send a picture to Jamie. He had my number. He had my wife's number, and she's like, "Hey, did you guys find a jersey?" So don't tell him. Don't tell him. He already knows that it's been washed because the tags are off it.
It's awesome.
But it's just an amazing story, So
Yeah.
I'm down in DC, and they gave my print to everybody that entered. Of course, I'm a Flyers fan, and I'm sitting there. Ovechkin scored in the first minute, and I saw my first hockey fight live. And then it was Rory on the phone, and I was just watching the Masters. Everybody knew I was a phony fan at that point. Everybody behind me like, what's this guy doing? He's cheering when nothing else is going on. But
Oh, that's great.
try to keep it 4 for 4. This is the hardest year.
Nah, listen, you got to do listen, you're a sportsman, right?
Yeah.
Work is work, and you appreciate it. Everybody knows where your heart is. Your
Yeah.
heart is 4 for 4, but you get an opportunity to create something for the Capitals or create something for the Broncos or whoever it is.
No doubt about it. And something that resonates, and I heard you say it before, it's like sports brings people closer together.
I'm a huge
And the
believer.
fact that that people are diehard sports fans everywhere, it's like, you might not like that team, but you love the fandom, and being able to create something.
It's godlike. It brings I'm such a believer in this. I always talk about sports builds churches. It connects people. It bonds us. And I think it's the greatest thing in the world. And that's why stuff like this is glue for that, right?
Yeah.
It keeps memories alive. It connects people. It's gifts. It's memories. Words go into art. It's beautiful.
Thanks. You guys want to? Can I just roll through some
Do
of my
it.
college
Let
pieces?
'em
real
rip.
quick?
brother.
So starting the college football
white
pieces
out.
out. This is the 60th anniversary of Beaver Stadium.
Look at that.
It's every win. So the date, the opponent, and the score going back to 1960. And whiteout game. Big shout out to Old Mainframe who would have me out to Beaver every year for the whiteout game.
That's cool. Wow, look at that.
The horseshoe.
Look at
The
that.
horseshoe. Once they saw I did this, they don't invite me up anymore. Getting Columbus in the background, the amazing entrance foyer they have there.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just
I
a
wanna get
really
to a
cool
game there.
stadium.
That's a great spot. One of my favorite jobs was covering college football.
Yeah, because the stadiums are so great.
Yeah, you're in the middle of all this, pomp and circumstance. It was incredible.
It's tough to see, but you'll see a little guy in khakis. That's Harbaugh right there. Of course, they play in Michigan, and you got a couple blue and yellows walking in the stadium.
That's great.
There it is, where Eagles Super Bowls are forged.
Look at
right
that.
here.
Athens.
This goes to their
Athens, Georgia.
back-to-back championships. Getting the architecture
Oh, dude, I love that.
back there is really cool. And this is
Do you work off of photos, or do you ever go there? Make pilgrimages?
I definitely would, but yeah, I'm working on mostly off of
Yeah.
photos and not one photo. I try to find 3 or 4
Yeah.
different angles and try to make my own image as much as possible. So for instance, if this building is actually down here, I want to pop it up a little bit more, so I try to create my own image, and thinking of the fans too is a lot of fun. Like you'll see one coming up. Oh, here we got,
Rocky Top.
I got it.
Yeah.
And put the Smoky Mountains there in the background. Cool campus, the city skylines,
Neyland.
Tennessee River.
One of my favorite places to go is Neyland.
Yeah.
I went this class with Peyton Manning.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about that piece.
Yeah.
Was that SI or something?
That was the Post.
That was okay.
Yeah, Post.
They gave Peyton Manning a portrait I did of him halftime of the Georgia game.
No way.
Yeah, it's about 3-4 years ago.
Wow,
Really
dude.
awesome. And
That's
then
fantastic.
And then his wife must have had the portrait, and they said, "Hey, we want to do something for Eli's birthday. Are you available?"
That's awesome.
And I said,
Of course. Yeah.
Peyton was one thing. And the other thing I want to say, while you say work is work, no Cowboys art will ever be produced.
Nice.
We're drawing the line somewhere.
What if Micah Parsons calls you and says, I need...
We got Penn State art. We got you in Penn State stuff. You and Saquon. I'll do it, whatever you want. We'll see. And I had the Penguins on the list for a while, but we'll see about that. And there's the big one.
Look at that.
Same. Getting the backgrounds in there and just
that's cool.
Really cool. And this is Alabama.
Yeah, no, I know.
We got Bryant and Saban.
Yeah.
The Walk of Champions.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
And thinking about the fans, just getting the old couple together with the young guys. I remember this guy wanted to be a recruit, just how big he was, So trying to think about
Roll
fans
Tide.
going in.
Bryant Denny Stadium.
Yeah.
Oh, Baton Rouge.
So basically, we're doing the national champions. It's like, I always say,
I
like,
love
can
that
you
stuff.
do my school? Can you do my school? I say, win a national championship. That'll always help. Or big anniversaries. My wife went to Clemson.
Wow.
This is a really big
The
deal.
Rock.
I don't think any of this would happen.
The Rock.
Howard's Rock,
Yeah.
right there. Went to a game down there. That was awesome.
Yeah, that's good stuff. I
And
love it down there.
One of the things that was big was met my wife the first night. Where did you go to school? She goes, "Oh, I went to Clemson." So did Brian Dawkins. Sweet.
Perfect.
Yeah. So, and then we had the newest piece, 100 Years of Oklahoma.
Wow.
just thinking about them doing their Boomers Sooners, getting the fans in there, getting the red sky.
Yeah. The red sky.
Yeah. So
I love it. Where's Notre Dame?
Notre Dame has their own licensing section. They're very difficult to work with.
Wow,
Yeah, of course I got to try, but this is the college piece that started it all. 60 years of the Palestra, anytime any of these teams ever played each other. And this was the first part where I went from like one season and being real graphic to trying something really hard. And we did it for the 60th, and Jay Wright, Phil Martelli, and Fran Dunphy all signed the print, and they auctioned it off. And then it was like, okay, I'm gonna be doing harder and harder pieces from now on.
That's fantastic, dude. That's great. Look at that thing. It's beautiful.
Real quickly through the baseball, we have Yankee Stadium.
That's
That's cool.
When old Yankee Stadium got demolished, the New York Post featured this, and that was a big break in my career. It was just amazing. And here's DiMaggio, finding all the different names. So all-time rosters, Wrigley. Believe it or not, I'm writing this piece, and Ernie Banks just happened to fall right in the middle of the center. So I added him a little bit bigger.
Look at that. That's awesome.
The cathedrals of baseball, the cathedrals.
Yeah, man.
I gave this original to Buck Showalter.
Wow.
Down there. And this is their 25th anniversary at Camden Yards. Shay. First Met ever. Richie Ashburn. Believe that? And thinking of the names on the jerseys was cool. You know, put in Seaver and Carter, and then I even got a Keith Hernandez mustache T-shirt in there. That's great. And even if you're not a fan, it's just like one of those that brings back memories of these stadiums.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
There it is.
Wow.
Battery Park and Truist. They just look like they were having so much fun when they won a couple years ago. And writing these names. But here, I know where Hank Aaron.
Where's Chipper Jones? Larry Jones.
I see the Aaron right there, Aaron. And that's the fun part about it. You know, just finding those guys that ruined my 90s childhood.
Yeah, man.
Going to the recent. What's cool about this one is I actually got a ball from my father-in-law with the first three lines of names signed.
Oh, wow.
It must have not been Pee Wee Reese isn't on there, but I got Duke Snyder and Sandy Koufax on the ball. He didn't even know what names were on. I go, is this Sandy Koufax?
Oh, my God.
Then we found out it was a team ball from like probably 63 or something.
Dude,
and they moved in 60.
That's ridiculous.
Just the history of baseball is in here, and you got this guy blowing up.
Yeah.
Rookie of the year. This is an original I just did of last season.
Look at that, Ohtani, man. That's awesome.
Possibly the greatest baseball season we've ever seen. And this is the original. It's coming out really shortly.
That's awesome.
And there's our man.
Hey, there we are, Bryce.
MVP season. I can't wait to do the Road to the World Series featuring him and who knows who else. And then there's every Philly ever.
That's great.
Making Citizens Bank Park. So
that's great.
Thanks, man.
Dude, this is awesome. Man.
I know there's a lot of art there, but I wanted to.
No, that's great. That's great stuff.
A lot of times I'm just talking about one piece, and I just kind of wanted to show it.
No, I love this. I love that.
Thanks, man.
What's behind it?
We got
there he is, Kelsey. Yeah, roll through it real quick.
We got parade speech, retirement speech. Both speeches in there.
Very cool. That's good.
NFL Films had me redo it with fans' words.
Okay.
And they made a little special out of it. Thank you, Jason Kelsey. And thank you, NFL Films. Streets and neighborhoods make the skyline.
Yeah, that's cool.
Every Eagle ever.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I just updated it, right? So I did it for the 20th anniversary. And, of course, we had to have Saquon and Bond and Coop in there. Declaration of Independence.
Look at that.
Gave this to the governor before he was governor.
That's cool.
I guess he was lieutenant governor, and we're at an event, and I wanted him to have it. So hopefully it survived the fire.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got
Reading Terminal.
Reading Terminal. Every vendor going back.
Wow.
Is it in there?
Yeah. There's every
No,
Lots of
is
different
that
vendors.
in the terminal?
Oh, I think so.
Better
Yeah,
be,
we
yeah.
gave him some. We did this right around COVID.
Okay.
Portnoy was raising money for restaurants that were shut down and stuff. And I just wanted to do something to help him. So, and I just love the colors in it. That was so much fun to make that piece.
Yeah, that's a great looking piece.
Jersey Shore. We got every shore point in New Jersey from Sandy Hook down to Cape May is written, and then I write the name of the town you want in the boat.
Ah, that's awesome.
So
good for you. I like that.
That's a fun one. And Boathouse Row.
Yeah, look at that. That's beautiful.
Everything from Manayunk to the Art Museum. A lot of fun pieces. I focus on sports.
Excellent stuff. I mean, just absolutely. Danny, excellent stuff. If people want to get a hold of you, I'm sure you do custom stuff.
Yeah.
What's the best way to get a hold of you and for them to purchase any of the amazing prints?
We're running a promo code, 15% off everything at Art of Words at use code PHLY. And it's artofwords.com. And for social, I'm at Real Art of Words.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we got to do a little thing and get them out on social, Andrew. This is good stuff. Man,
Great Father's Day gifts.
Yeah.
Mother's Day gifts. You know, like,
no, it's perfect.
yeah.
Yeah, it's great. The work is just exemplary.
I think I have 2 or 3 at home. We got like 5 here in the offices. So
it's beautiful.
Spruces up a room.
Yeah, yeah. My brother,
Thanks
you
so
are
much.
one talented dude.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Excellent, man.
Love the show. Love the channels. You guys are the best.
Yeah, he became a diehard a while back. He texted
Oh,
me. He's like,
nice.
I became a diehard.
Oh, we appreciate that, brother. This is just the beginning. So we're building this thing brick by brick, word by word. All right. And, let us know because we'll get your stuff out to all the other, we have, channels in Dallas and Chicago, Denver, and Phoenix, and soon to be more. So we'll get you out all those places.
Love it.
Everybody. What do you think? You want to do we don't need to do that anymore.
Yeah. Nah, we're good.
Okay. All right.
Now I'm curious what was it going to be?
We always do a back in the day moment.
Oh, yeah. Right. I didn't really have much today on this date.
He could sing the song.
Yeah, we'll take a knee.
Singing that one.
Yeah, we'll take a knee. Everybody, thanks for hanging. I hope you enjoyed this. This is Danny, very, very talented.
Artofwords.com.
Yeah,
check it out.
It's great stuff. Have a great day, everybody. We love you. We'll see you for a Friday, a football. Baldy will be there.
Yeah, there you go. You can make it a football Friday if
It's
you
always
want.
always a football Friday. We'll have drinks and anything and the whole thing. Everybody have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.
See ya.